Okay. So as I was talking about, the software testing is taking very important role in our daily life now these days. Like for example, like very simple examples. If you're cooking something and before you serve the food, you like to make sure that food is taste good, right? So if it tastes not good, nobody will eat. Even though they eat and they will not feel good. So same thing is a basic common sense. If you build in software and if you do not test well, people are not going to like it. People will say this is just useless, or people will just use it for they're not going to use it anymore after that. The first time customer, then nobody will use it. So there is a lot of importance in software testing, so we're going to talk about it. And so what I was talking about, like if we have to know how the software, the entire software development lifecycle works, how the software gets developed and how the software gets tested and how the software gets implemented and how the software gets maintained throughout their life cycle. Everything has their life cycle, everything we do. Like if you wants to do bachelor degree, first you need to start from like say ESL and then English course and then blah 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 and then major course and then finalize in final paper and so on, right? So everything has if you don't do one of them, they will tell you to repeat it again and again until you pass the exam. So software is kind of similar. It's nothing but, as you can say, whatever things that we are regularly doing in our life. So we're going to talk about, and I will provide you a lot of different examples related to our daily life and so on. And another topic that we're going to talk about, not today, is totally different classes, by the way, the ALM software application lifecycle. Application lifecycle management. So this is a tool to handle this one. Means like say we know accounting, right? So hey brother, how are you? So we know accounting, like say early days, like back in probably in before 1990s. What people did when was tax filing happens, or people do the bookkeeping. So they have a big book like this, big one. I'm not sure if you have seen it. I've seen like a couple of times in my early age. So they have big book like this. They were bookkeeping by hand. They didn't have any computers systems on those days. So they were writing all those customer information, customer expense information, income information, on all those things. They were making the balance sheet in the paper, not in the computers. So and and also like say in bank, before the computer happened, like if you go to the bank, still if you go some of the like third developing countries like Africa or some Asian countries, they don't have computer in their bank. If you go and you need to tell them your name, they don't even have their IDs. They know them by their face. Like if you tell your name and they will look at it, they will find out how much you have, this is blah blah blah, and then finally they will give you money. They will write all those amounts in their hand. They don't have any computers. So what happens is, if they have a computer, so what would do? They will manage all those things like we do in here in banking system, online banking stuff. So you can spend money, you can transfer money, you can do a lot of different things in online banking. So online banking is what then? It's a management to maintain your account portfolio and all those things. So if you have like 3 credit card from Bank of America and you have Bank of America account, like 2 different accounts, like so one is checking account, one is saving account. So what you basically they are doing, they are maintaining 5 different products like checking account, saving account, and 3 credit card account. So you can see what you're doing, what is the activities you are having on your credit card and your bank account and all those things. from single platform. So once you log in, you can see everything from one single screen. So ALM or quality center is nothing but to maintain all your daily activities of software development lifecycle. So a lot of people say, yeah, it's a manual testing tool or something, blah, blah. Basically, it's not a manual testing tool. It's just a management tool. Like, I would say QuickBook. We know QuickBook, right? Some of we probably know QuickBook. Or let me give more small examples. Like, say, if you like in a daily basis, whatever, what kind of software we use in daily basis, I guess. Facebook, I guess everybody uses Facebook these days, right? So in Facebook, everybody has their own profile, right? And in the Facebook management, what they did, they also have software behind the scenario that you cannot see. So you have to maintain and need to customize their page. So they're not going to give you that access. That is kind of like backing service. That is kind of behind the scenario service. So you cannot see. We cannot see it. Only the management people who are working behind the scenario, they can see it. So they can do anything they want. Like whatever Facebook profile that we are looking at right here, they are looking more features than we do. And what they could do, they could remove this icon, or they could make the different icons. They could do so many different things on their end. Or they could block you, or they could discontinue you, or anything, or they could get all those information and deliver to whoever they want, right? So they also have some kind of management system to maintain the user's information or customer information and so on. So all those things are taken care of from like software testing perspective or software development perspective. This is the tool we're going to learn how to maintain our software development lifecycle. Okay, and another topic that we're going to talk about the SQL, like what is the SQL stands for? I guess
software query language.
No better. Structure query language. So it's structure query language. So why we call it structure? Why we forgot, instead of saying structure, we are saying software? Because this is what I do for myself also when I study. I always think about, okay, why is structure? Why is not software? Why is not software? So if you think about that way, you will never forget like what you are studying on. Okay, so it says like S. Oh, of course, this is in software. So it should be in software query language. It's not a structure query language. But why they are calling structure? So what is happening is like you have a data in from the backend. So you are displaying those data in like a correct format. Because you are like getting those data in a correct format, that's why it's called structure, means like organized way of displaying your data. So other way around, they are saying that's a structure query language. It's a query because you are gathering all this information together to writing some kind of format. Okay, so once you going to have the SQL classes, you're going to know why it's called structure, why it's called query, and why it's called language. A language is language. What is language? Language in order to communicate between two different objects, right? So if you like to communicate between these two phones, some language need to happen between these two phones. So if we are sending some data from here to here, we may use messages, or we may use Bluetooth, or so many things. So Bluetooth is a language between this and that one. So whatever, let's say you went to a Spanish country like Dominican Republic. Okay, so you need to communicate. If you want to buy some tea or water, right? If you want to buy water, and you go to the store and they're not going to understand English, right? So you need to communicate. You need to say, yeah, give me agua, por favor, deme agua, something, whatever. So in order to communicate with them, you need to use some kind of communication language. So those are for language. And again, all those software development lifecycle, all those software in IT is all is language. They understand the language. But behind that scenario, there is so many different things. I'm not going to talk about it, how the language happens behind the scenario. Behind the scenario is not too many languages, even though there is more than 200 countries in the world, thousands of different languages in this world. But in behind the scenario in computer, they use couple of languages. But in the front end, we just know Java, .NET, blah, 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 so many different languages. Right? But even though we are humans, we are speaking thousands of different languages. But end of the day, we are human. We have the same blood and something and so on. But we are using those languages just to communicate each other. So same thing, computers, they're using all those keywords to communicate each other. But behind that scenario, they are kind of same language. They use all those binary, hexabinary, hexadecimal, all those different numbers. All those things are numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, or 0 and 1. Whatever things that we are typing in front of right here, all we are reading 0 and 1. So I don't want to talk about those things. Those are like solid computer science things. So forget about those things. But at this moment, just think about the language. Those are languages that need to be communicated between the two different objects. We know what is object, right? What is object, brother?
Object.
Yeah, again, if you don't have any kind of question or something, just feel free to ask me. So I'll be happy to answer any kind of questions. Or from online, you guys, you can just unmute yourself and you can talk to me, and or you can type me your message in chat. If you have any questions or something, I'm happy to answer any kind of questions to you. Yeah. Tell me whatever you have in your mind. That doesn't matter. We are here for learning stuff.
Yeah. Object is like just some bone.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. So, this is the things what I want. Like, if you describe, hey brother, how are you? So, if you explain your definition based on the reality, people like more than the book definition. I don't like book definition. So every time I teach something, I just teach from my heart. It's not that something I teach you from the book. You don't explain the book definition. If somebody asks you, tell me object, yeah, this is an object. That's the definition of it. This is the most visible and most interactive definition than anything ever. So you cannot find this definition in the book, right? You just tell them in real definition. Anything you see, that's our object. That's the way you need to define the definition in the interview or when you talk to the people, and that's the way people will understand the reality of it. That's the way people will never forget about the definition. So if you read about definition of object in online, I don't even know what is the definition of it, but a material thing that can be seen and touched, a person or things. There are so many different words. You don't have to worry about those words. All you need to tell, what is object? This is an object. Done. Yeah. So that's the most simplest definition in the world. So I want from all of you to have the real definition instead of book definition. Of course, you need book definition for yourself to learn. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to understand what it is. You know, yesterday, like I was reading something for preparation for these classes. Like some of the things I was taking some pictures from online and how I'm going to teach and all those. So I was reading one of the topics that I don't know. I know a little bit, but I don't know more detail. So I was looking at the pictures, but it's still not clear to me. Then I had to read the paragraphs in order to understand. So sometimes picture is not enough. Sometimes if I say this is an object, people may ask you, okay, okay, I understand this is an water, this is an object. Tell me more about it. So you should have more definition on the top of it. How? Study more. That's why you need a book definition on the top of whatever things that you explain. The book definitions will help you to increase your knowledge, to have more knowledge on the top of whatever the real definition of it. So you need kind of both. Okay? But I would prefer always the real definition.
Everything is beyond the web.
Yeah, almost anything you can see your naked eye. Yeah, anything that you are touching, that's the knowledge. And then another last topic that we're going to talk about. This is a huge topic, so we're going to spend a lot of time in automation, probably 4 to 6 weeks. And this time I'm planning almost 6 weeks of automation classes. Weeks of automation classes. So I'm going to cover like almost 4 weeks of EFT and about 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks, I guess. Depends on how fast we are learning. Probably I'm not going to go too much details in Selenium, but I will try to teach you based on the market need, to pass the interview. And but our main focus would be these tools. So I'm going to tell you later down the road why we are focusing on one tool than many tools. There is many tools in the market, probably hundreds or more tools in the market, but we don't need to learn all of them. Why? Give me examples. I love examples. Yeah, most are similar. Like for example, we know how to drive, right? So if you know how to drive in Toyota, say Corolla, can you drive Camry? Can you drive Honda? You can drive almost everything, right? So there's the idea. So if we know how to drive these things, we should be able to drive everything. We should be smart enough to learn all those. All they use different language. We are all human, right? So if you travel to some African country, they speak French, but very typical French, not even regular French. Can you survive? Yes. You use your hand language or movement language or whatever, or writing, or show like an object. Yeah, I need this. Something like this, right? So first couple of days you will have a hard time, and then after a couple of days you will find you will be keep communicating with them eventually, right? So that's what it is. So there is many languages in the computer, computers. Many languages in the computers, but again, like first couple of days you going to have hard time, and then later on down the road you will be fine. So we don't need to know all those different tools. If you know only one tool, you should be able to smart enough to handle any other tools in the market. Okay, so why I'm teaching all these topics are like most of the jobs are based on these guys. SDLC. So I would say about 80% or 85% of the jobs based on SDLC. So if you really know how to handle SDLC stuff, and like out of 10 jobs, 8.5 jobs is based on manual testing. You don't need to know how to write SQL code. You don't need to know how to do automation and so on. But now these days, what happened after the recession? A lot of people, population is increasing, and Shadid. So now these days, since population are increasing in stuff, people are looking for more knowledgeable people than one single topic. Okay, so if you say, yeah, I just know software development lifecycle, people are not going to hire you anymore in these days. Used to be, yeah, but not anymore. Okay, so what will happen is that's why we need to know more than a single thing. Like, for example, if you want to do in bachelor degree, right, in computer science, So if you want to do in bachelor degree in computer science, they're not going to teach. They're not going to start with okay, fundamental of computer, and then Java 1, Java 2, and then like assembly language and all those different topics. They're not going to start with that. They will start with some English language, English like English 1, English 2, and then history, and then blah blah. So many different topics. Why they have to teach you all those things? They will teach you a lot of mathematics courses. So I remember like I was taking half of the mathematics courses and half of the computer science courses. Even probably I took more math classes than computer science class. So I was just talking to my teachers, like say, hey, why you are taking more math classes than computer classes? They're saying, well, you will know or later when you go to the real field. Yes, the thing is, computers is work based on the numbers. More better you are in numbers, more better programmer you will be. So your logic, thinking, and everything will come from the math. You know, like if you see a child who is very good in math, you will see that child is automatically brilliant. You will see that child is automatically very good in every topic. So, if you have not figured out, you look at it. Some children, they are really good in math. They are good in everything because their brain is really sharp. So computers, in order to write a program, you need to know all those different logic. If you do not have proper logic, you don't be able to write good programmatical language. So you always have to think very quickly enough in order to make a decision. And computer is about to make a decision. You are writing your username and password and clicking on login buttons, and behind the scenario, a lot of things happening. But if you are waiting more than 30 seconds, this is slow. The computer is slow. You are blaming about the computer, or you are blaming about the software, or you are blaming about something else you don't know. There's so many things is working behind the scenario. Like as soon as we type Facebook, your username and password, within probably 2 seconds is popping up. How? How it's possible? There is 1.5 million people there using Facebook. The billion people, I'm sorry. So they are finding you from 1.5 billion people. Isn't it amazing? This is really wonderful. Technology is that fast enough to recognize you are the Facebook user. Okay, so let's get started our regular topic here, software development lifecycle. So again, I just want to tell you something like what I don't know how fast I'm going to go, how slow I'm going to go, and so on. What I want from you end of the day, whatever things that you are learning really good. So what I have seen, like from many people, if I ask, what's your name, brother? What do you say?
Eric.
Eric. So Eric, let's say he finished this course so one time or 2 times or something, and then let's say I'm taking his interview and I ask him, hey, tell me what is SDLC, and he says something about something. You know, this does not make sense. So what I want from you, like as I was explaining to you in earlier, like software SQL is it could be software quality language, it could be structure query language, or it could be anything we start with S, right? So all I want from you is just to think about what you are studying, just to think about why it's called software, why it's called development, why it's called life, why it's called cycle, and so on. So if you read very carefully and if you spend at least a couple of minutes before you move forward, think before you continue. So and read a couple of times before you continue to the next topics and so on. So that's the way you will never forget. Okay, so I don't want you to memorize a single character of this subject that we're going to talk about. Okay, so some of you already know my name is Rasel, and this is my last name. You can find me in Facebook, but in Facebook discussion group. Probably if you request Shazid, he's going to add you on the Facebook discussion group, and that's where our note and our links, class link, and everything will be posted. And you can find me here, right here. Probably this is my name, and you may not find me on the search. Those are disabled, but you will find me on that group only so far, unless you send me a request from that group to a friend request. So that's my name, and I work for HP Hewlett Packard Enterprise. That's why I work, and I've been working with them almost more than 11 years. And that's my first job, and that's my last job, and I've been still working with them. And
software tester?
yeah, software testers. So mostly this is what I do. I work as an automation programmer. So I use many different tools, and HP makes most of the software testing tools. So I work with most of the HP tools. I'm more subject matter expert related to HP than other tools. Okay, so that's what I do, and in terms of teaching all these topics, I mostly focus on automation, and some other teachers mostly will cover all those different topics. Okay, but I mostly cover the automation part of it. I'll mostly cover with Selenium. I'll mostly cover with some EFT. So within a couple of weeks, we're going to learn about different language called VB script. We're going to learn some different language about Java and so on. So those are the main two different languages we're going to learn sometime later down the road. And well, I'm going to make your plan on sometime later down the road as well. Any questions? Okay, so again, we are talking about the software. What is software? And we already talked about it and so on.
Are we also going to learn manual testing in this course?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. You see, 85% of the testing would be manual testing. So in the job market, out of 10 jobs, 8.5 jobs or 8 of the jobs are manual testing, and 2 of the jobs are automation. If QC is not a manual testing tool, by the way, yeah, I already explained to you guys, it's a management tool. I already spent time about it, and you are still saying manual testing, which is QC. It's not a manual testing tool. It's a management tool. Yeah, I will teach Selenium. So yeah, we're going to learn manual and automation both. But well, we need to learn almost everything. So that's what is our main goal. Not only that, and before you will be actually going to the market, you will learn probably hundreds or more different topics. Like say, what is C, what is C++, what is Java, what is J++, what is so many different names. You're going to learn about it before you actually look for the job. So we're going to teach you all those different things. We may not going to teach you line by line, but we'll tell you how to learn those things. Okay, we'll direct you from there. All right. So earlier of today, we were talking about software, right? If somebody asks you what is software, let's see, your children or your son or daughter or your brother or whoever asks you, can you tell me what is software? Aaron, tell me what is software, just your common sense. Eric, right?
Yeah, Eric.
Eric, sorry.
Yeah. Software basically are my is a tool, application, that can allow us to assess is something that can help us to assess many different types of computer. So for example, when it comes to I can say Facebook and so on.
Yeah, well, yeah, that makes sense. So again, it's a very good definition. Again, everybody I going to ask, everybody going to have a different definition, isn't it? Because whatever he said, is not that he memorized. He just said from his mind, from his whatever understanding, right? So you can have whatever definition, but you cannot say, okay, software is potato, right? We cannot say something that is not relevant to it. So you have to come up with something that is make a common sense, make the sense to it. Make like you just come up with something that makes sense. Again, nobody will ask you in this world like what is software, especially in this professional job. But we better know what it is. So it's just a basic common sense. Like as he said, Facebook is a software. It's a web-based application. Right. So anything we are using in the computer, those even a small line of code or even a small piece of sentence that you are writing in the computer, those are software. Okay, so I'm not going to read those things, by the way. Sajid will give you those notes, you can read it. I'm not too good at book definition. I just will talk about the reality of it. So that's the way you will remember what is software, the definition part of it. So why we need software? We need software, of course, if I ask you why you need to eat food, right? So well, yeah, if I don't eat food, I will feel hungry. I will eventually die one day if I don't eat food. Well, I need water. Of course I'm thirsty, and if I don't drink water, eventually I will die one day. So software, we need software is, or why you need car means everything, all those objects that we are using, there is some reason of using it, right? Huh? Right. Right. Super from like a special or some special task or something. So like of course in now these days people, they don't do anything for free, or they don't do something that don't have any benefit to it. We all come here, there's only one reason. What is the reason? DOB, right? That's only three characters we need. So that's the main goal, by the way. End of the day, there's our output, and there's the output we like to make it. So we need the software to make our life faster, reliable, perform complex calculation. There's so many benefits. This is just nothing in here. So whatever things that come in your mind, why you need a software, you just tell to the people who are going to ask you. I'm not going to go too much details of it because those are really common sense things. And then software development life cycle, right? Software development life cycle. So we are talking about software. Since we are talking about the software, so the earlier topic we were talking about the software, and we need to talk about the software. Like we all know how to do what? Let's see. Let me come to the cooking examples. Probably some of you at least know how to cook, right? Everybody or somebody. Okay, so if you are preparing to cook, let's see on tonight. Let's see, you are preparing to cook on tonight. So you are thinking of preparing the cook. Okay, so you are planning to cook. Let me write this. And then you are okay. You are planning to cook. What's your name, sister? Angelica. You cook at home? What are you planning to cook tonight? You don't know yet. So let's see, you're planning to cook some rice and beans, huh? So you're planning to cook rice and beans, and let me delete this one and this one. And then, since you're planning to cook, you need some materials. You need to buy something. You need to get some raw materials, right? So once you need to get the materials, you need to get some recipes. You need to get some. Once you get the recipes, what are you going to do? You will follow those recipes to cook, and then somebody will come and test, or you can test yourself to make it that's really good or bad or something. Okay, and then once that is done, then what are you going to do? You will serve the food and eat with family, right? So once you're done eating, so what are you going to do? Whatever the leftover, you're going to put in the refrigerator for later use. So what we are basically doing in here, for cooking, first things we are planning, and then we are buying some materials. So we'll call a requirement. Oh, sorry, a requirement or you are planning. Then let's see. I'm just trying to use some different. What kind of things I can say? Items needed, and then once we have all those items in IT, we call requirement basically. And once we have all those items, then we'll actually cooking, and we'll say this is development. While we are cooking, after you are done cooking, then you will say test. We will test we'll do testing, and then we'll say ready to eat. We'll say development. And once we're done eating, then whatever in the leftover, we'll put in the refrigerator, right? Then we'll say maintenance. Okay, so what will happen is whatever things that we are cooking, that has some kind of life cycle. So everything that we are doing in our daily life, yeah. So everything that we are doing in our daily life, like say we are planning to cook. So whatever things that we are planning to cook, we need some items to buy, and we need some recipes to cook, and then we need somebody to test that food idea is good or bad or whatever, and then we finally ready to eat, and then whatever the leftover we'll put in the refrigerator or something. So that's kind of life cycle that we follow every day on our cooking stuff. So if you think about other things, like say any other examples or we do in daily basis, like say you are planning to come here for taking this course. So since this study, you are thinking, okay, I need to come to this school to take SDLC classes. Okay, so that is part of the planning. And then when you are thinking of coming to this school, and you are thinking about what are the things I need in order to be there. So you need a pen, pencil, paper, whatever, and then you need car to come here. Right? Then since you need a car to come here, then you need some kind of directions, right? or you need some kind of directions in the class guideline and all those things. So like all the few different items, those will be part of the development or cooking stuff. And then finally you came here and you are matching all those things that you basically did. Like say you came here, you followed the directions, you did all those guidelines and stuff. Then you will say, okay, those things are properly matching. That means your expected and actual result is matching. Means whatever you're expecting to cook and somebody taste it and say, yes, that's what I was looking for. Means actual and expected are matching. That is testing. Means expected and actual has to match in order to pass the testing. So then testing will be completed, and then like once you done testing, then we'll say, okay, we are ready, and then that is the development. So and then whatever the leftover, that will be in maintenance. So let me come up with the definition in terms of technological work in IT. So if you are developing some software, like say Facebook, Facebook recently developed some software called this one. You guys saw it, right? So this is the new one from last week. So before they implement this software, they must have followed some SDLC, software development lifecycle, right? So the like I've been hearing this news from almost 6-7 months. Like they're going to implement some kind of animation on their live buttons. So they are planning these things, let's see, for 6 months. So they are planning to develop some kind of animation on the live button. So that is the main topic they are planning to say. Okay. So what they're trying to do, Facebook, they're planning to like button. So that is their main topic. So that is their requirement, or that is what they are needed. So in order to do this planning, they need requirements. So what would be the requirement for this planning? They will say, okay, number one requirement. So you need something? Okay. So in order to develop that functions, they need to think about so many different things. They need to think about so many different things. Means they need to think about how the animation will look like, how many animation will be, right? How the animation like how many, then where, and then how. Means so many what, why, how, so many different things they will put those requirements. So that could be one page, or that could be like 10 pages, or could be hundreds of pages of the requirement. When we talk about the requirement, what do you guys think about?
We give us what we need and what we need it for.
Yes.
Basically, we describe all
the things that you need, reason why that you are working for. So requirement is something that you that customer need. So if you are working in Best Buy, one customer came in and you say, sir, you are looking for some specific item, and you say, yeah, well, yeah, I'm looking for a TV, and the TV has to be 55 inch, and has to be in Samsung, and has to be black, and has to be flat. So the number of items that he gave it to you, those are requirements. You understand? So if anybody asks you from today to rest of your life, you give the definition. You can give the definition that I give it to you, the Best Buy definition. So you don't need to memorize the definition from online or book or something.
They also call
Yeah, well, yeah, those are IT type of definition. But if you do not memorize all those things, just give the definition in your real life. Because what happens is that in the job market, if you look in the job market, I was explaining on the other day. In the job like IT field, most of the people who are in the open market like Monster Dice and all those things, like 99% of the people, they have no real experience. No real experience, zero real experience. Even though they say, okay, they have 6 years, they have 8 years, they have 10 years. So what we see basically, if we see a resume with 6 years, we assume 6 years related to 0 years of experience in IT. And if we see like 8 years, we assume probably 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years of experience. And if he is 10 years, probably these guys have worked at least more than 2 years, at least 2-3 years real experience. So 2-3 years of real experience. Okay, so this is the way IT works. But don't assume this is a real experience, by the way. Okay, yeah, on my resume I have about 15 years, but 15 years I did not work as a QA. I worked something like data entry stuff, but I did put like say whenever I start looking for a job 11 years back, I had to put some here and there also, because I wouldn't be able to find a job if I don't write those information. You know, every time you go for a job interview, you need to tell more than what you know. Otherwise, you won't be able to get a job. First time she went to the CVS pharmacy, and she has to say, yeah, I'm looking for a job. They will ask you, do you know career register? If you say no, they won't be hiring. They will no, forget about it. I'll find somebody else. You have to say, yeah, I know how to handle career register. Otherwise they wouldn't hire. So you have to say yes, you have to respond positive. If you do not respond positive, nobody will hire you these days. Okay, so everybody like to do and make money on their business. So what I was talking about, like 99% of the people who have no real experience, 1 to 2% of the people who has a real experience, they are already have a job. They already find job without going to the market. They are experienced. They always get referred from here and there. They find a job within a couple of hours or a couple of days. So they don't basically stay to the market for a longer period of time. But if you stay in the market more than 2, 3, 4, 5 months, yeah, obviously people know you do not have any experience. We all know that. Even though you have no experience, we still need to hire you because several reasons. The main reason is the government or companies, like big companies like HP, IBM, and Booz Allen Hamilton, all those big companies, they do not want to pay more money. They don't want to pay good amount of salary. So most of the salaries, let's say, start with 75,000. So if you show your experience 6 years, you expect to get 75,000. 6 years of people, they expect to get $75,000 of dollars. So if you have 8 years, that means you already have some experience, right? Like 2 years. So you will expect, no, like 2 years back I was making 75, and now I expecting to get 85. So you're looking for 85. So if you have 10 years, that means you have more than 2 years experience. You have at least 4 years. You feel more confident, and you look for at least less than 95K. So if you have 10 years, like say 10 means, again, another thing, why I say 10 and 10, like once you have real 10 years experience, even though what I have seen, like some people have 30 or 40, like 35 or 40 years of experience, they don't want to put like 35 years experience on their resume. They're not going to find a job.
Because you get out of life.
Yeah, so people don't hire people like if they have like many years of experience. I see people have 30 years experience, they still put 10 because they need a job. So unless you are some kind of super genius guy, you don't care. Okay, and if you are a genius, you don't need a resume. By the way, you will find a job automatically. That's a totally different history. There's not many people. You are not everybody are Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg or so on, right? So let's see. You are expecting 95,000 for 10 years of experience. That means you have like at least 3-4 years of real experience and blah blah. So what happens is we still need to hire from all those 99% of people because company do not want to pay $95,000. Company wants to pay up to $75,000 or less because government, whatever project they are giving to the company, the government is not paying a lot of money. So how the company will survive? Company need to survive with the money they receive from government. So that's why they are paying less, and we have to hire less expensive employees. And there is no choice. We can hire them. They are expensive for us. So we assume they are the people we need to hire, and they are the people are kind of senior, and we have to stick with up to those people. And we know that they have those kind of experience. They never did any work, but we have to do it no matter what. And if we do not show our client, government, say, hey, we have 30 employees, start working from let's see next week. If government don't see you really have 30 employees, they're not going to give you the project. So you have to hire them. And if you hire like all those expensive, real experienced people, and you have to pay $130,000, means you are paying double money, and you are keeping them in the bench while you are trying to get the project from the government, you'll be losing money. So what happens is in technology, what we do, we balance people. How we balance people? Well, let's see, we need 10 testers. We need 10 testers. So out of 10 testers, we identify what are the people we need. We need manual tester, we need automation tester, we need integration tester. So we need those 3 different categories. So we always assume we need at least 2 people per group. So let's say automation, we need 2. Integration, we need 2. Manual, we need 2. At least 2. Why we need 2? Why? Because we need some backup, right? So if you have a security guy working for you on your door, if one security guy is sick, you need another security guy who will work for you. You always need to hire 2 employees for a single job. Otherwise, you'll be in problem. Otherwise, you have to be in the door. So, like say, first I categorize those things into, and then see what place you need to do more work, like say manual testing, right? So you're going to hire, say, you're going to hire 6 people in manual testing, and rest of them you will keep 2. Now you're going to categorize those things. Like out of 6, how many of them you need 6 years? How many of them you need 8 years? How many of them you need 10 years? Let's see what of them is 10 years of guy, and 2 of them is like say 8 years of guy, and 3 of them would be 6 years of guy. So you're going to balance like that. And same thing for automation, you're going to hire one of them are senior, like say 10 years of guy, and another one is probably the 6 years of guy. So at the end of the day, you will pay 95 plus 75 for automation, and at the end of the day, you will be saving some money. So that's how we balance people. And what happened is, after years, let's see, you are experienced guy in 10 years, right? So you work for this company, let's say 2 years. So you become how many years of experience? 12 years of experience, right? And then this guy become 10, and this guy become 8, right? And after 2 years, your salary 95 become, let's say, 105. And this guy salary become 95, and this guy salary become 85, right? So company will what? Company will start losing money since they are paying you more. So they will say, well, yeah, well, we are cutting out of people, so you good to go. So they will hire more people in here, 3 people here, like 6 years of guys. So that's the way they will balance people. You guys understand the mechanism, right? So, so where are you going to go? You're not going to be making 105,000 in the market anymore. It's not easy to make the same money that you was making on the other company. So what are you going to do? I'm just putting in the small years. Like what I'm saying, that recently I had a guy, he had like 35 years experience in working for many companies. Then he was making probably, let's see, 145. So he cannot make same money that he was making on the current company. He get laid off, workforce reduction. So what he has to do, he has to modify his resume to make it 10 to 15 years to get less money. Start building from, let's say, $100,000 again. That's the way it works. Unless there is some exception, I will explain to those exceptions in few minutes. So this is the way it works in basically, like what I was saying, if you are really experienced, even though you are 12 years of experience now, and they cannot let you go because of some certain reasons. Why? Because you are experienced, you are subject matter expert for that topic. You don't have other person to replace you. Understand? Say in CVS pharmacy, I'm sorry, I'm coming back to you again. What is the most important job in CVS pharmacy? Manager? Pharmacist is very hard to replace? Yeah. Okay. So if pharmacy is very hard to replace, and they are paying every year like 5% increase, eventually his salary is $150,000, and still is very hard to replace. The company willing to pay for that money because they cannot find the similar category of guy to survive that position, right? And company is making money, and even though if the company is really not making money, they need to talk to that employee, say, hey, I cannot increase your salary anymore, this is my ceiling, either you stay or not stay. The person will easily understand. To say, well, if I go to the other company, I won't make that money anymore, so let me stay to that company. Okay, so I will give you break in half an hour. In probably in 12:30 we'll go break for half an hour and so. So let's stick with another couple of more minutes. Hope you guys are even though those things are not too much relevant to our course, because those things are very important to know. To understand how the technology, how the market works, and so on. Okay. So what happens is, if you know the things really well, they're not going to replace you like a pharmacist, and that subject matter expert for that specific position. Understand? So, so you are saying, well, yeah, I'm working, and once I work a couple of years, they will say, okay, you fired, or you go, or you laid off, or something. But they're not going to let you go if you become one of the assets for the company. So how to make you asset? What are you going to do? Huh? Working hard is not the solution. in this technological world, working hard people who work hard, they lose their jobs more faster than the people don't work.
I think learn new things, keep updating your knowledge.
Right. So you have to come new things. You have to always keep up to date yourself with the new technology, and new tools. Whatever things is coming in the market, you need to keep yourself up to date, and you need to keep sell yourself to the upper management. How? You need to say, hey, there is new tools in Selenium, and they are doing wonderful. You don't have to pay any money for the tools. We are paying $18,000 for QTP. We pay zero money for the QTP. Like the Selenium and so on. Means like you have to implement, you have to come up with new innovation. If you don't come up with new things, they will say, yeah, this guy is doing same thing. He's keep making rice and beans every day. So I don't want to eat those things anymore. So you have to always come up with new food to feed them. Means you need to always come up with the new ideas. If you don't come up with new ideas, people will say, yeah, he is not asset anymore. He used to be, but not anymore. I'm paying more money than whatever the same garbage things he is giving me same year.
So how can we implement new ideas to the management?
Think. Always thinking. Like even though you are not implementing, but providing the ideas, like a manager like it, the company like it. So if you're looking for a job and you got a job, you have to think about how you're going to keep that job. That's why I was talking about those things. You have to make your own to think how important you are for the company. If you cannot make yourself important, company not going to keep you for a long time. You'll be always scared, oh, I'll lose my job. What do you think? I'm not scared too? Yeah, I always scared to lose my job too. But I also think I can find my job anytime. Because I have a confidence to find a job. I know how to find a job. I know what I know. I know what I'm good at. Every people has some kind of good things, some bad things, right? So you have to identify what is your good things. Stick on it and keep yourself up to date with the new technology. So that's the way you will keep yourself. That's the way you will see your success. Otherwise, it will be very tough for you to stick in the job and making money. Understand? So it's very important note, but nobody will ask you in the interview all these things, but that will make you motivation to make yourself to that feed to stick in the job for the rest of your life. Because what I'm saying all these things, I have seen the reality. I have seen some people who are working 10-15 years, and after that they came to us to say, I don't have a job, can you help me? And the guy was making like say $1 million or something salary. Now they don't have any money, no jobs. They cannot find a job in the market. They need to start with the same $85,000 again. Probably not even 85, it's just from 75. Because they don't know anything. They need to learn. But if that person was thinking about, like my managers, they are scared. They always say, like, oh, what happened if I lose my job? They are always scared. I'm not. I'm not scared at all. So, like, my managers like to say, okay, can you work in management? But I'm not interested in management at this moment. No, management is kind of, yeah, you will have a job, but what happened is, like, I like the technology based more than the management level, because technology is always, you will have a job. You will always find a job anywhere you want, anywhere, and you will make more money. And you can work multiple jobs. I do. I have 3 jobs in IT. I don't go to any of them. I work from home. I work for HP. This is my primary job, and that's where I started. And I basically not interested to move my job here and there. But those are the things basically are the realities. So all the things I'm saying because study is not, or finding job is not the end of the solution. The solution is you have to keep yourself up to date in order to meet the market or in order to get the job. Because if you have habit something, if you have some habit, like say you have habit to use iPhone, so if you lose your job, you cannot pay the whatever payment for the iPhones anymore. So your sons, they use like Apple computers or big technology, or they buy the brand names stuffs. But if you lose your job, you wouldn't be able to afford it, and you'll feel bad. You don't want to see that things after a couple of years, right? So you have to think about everybody think about their futures, but that's the reality. I feel like many people, they don't update themselves. That is very bad. So all of you, not only study, you have to update yourself in order to be have the happily life. Okay. So in the things that we are talking about, the SDLC, software development life cycle, like I was giving you some examples of cooking, or we are thinking about making a new software, right? Facebook, they are planning to make some kind of animations on the like buttons, right? So that is their main features they wanted to develop. So they were planning. Like I heard the news like 6 or 7 months ago. So after 7 months, they basically implemented. So they must have followed the software development life cycle, and finally they developed, and then they released their things to the market, right? So as part of the SDLC, we think, okay, planning was done in 6 months back in like Facebook, and then they were writing some requirement. On the requirement sections, they are thinking about what customer wants, how customer wants. They were having a lot of talking with the real users like us. They're users who we are the users, right? So with the users, they were getting a lot of comments from the user, what the user want, and so on. They also need to think about what kind of reflections, what kind of things will happen after we implement all those tools and so on. So they put all those things together in a document called requirement, and requirement is nothing but what the users want, right? So once they have the requirement, they will design it. So they need to design based on what they want to develop. So design, what they designed this one. I'm gonna take these pictures for you. So this is what they designed. So when they design, you think they only design the picture? They design more than that. So design is something that they implement not only the pictures, they implement so many different things behind these pictures. Means what is the algorithm, what kind of algorithm they're going to use. We understand what is the algorithm means, right? Means if people click on like button, can they also click on love button, or can they also click on wow button, or can means I don't know what is the mechanism they use, but I'm just thinking of it, what kind of mechanism they could. And not only that, they will use probably if the people click on the wow button. Let's see, 100 people have clicked on wow buttons, 100 click on like buttons, where they store all those data. They like to store in database, in temporary memory or permanent memory, or how soon. Means all those different kind of algorithm need to think about before they finalize the design document. Okay, so design documents comes after the requirement. Like for cooking food, we was talking about, like you was planning to cook rice and beans and meat, and then on the requirement sections you are thinking, okay, what are the items you need in order to cook? You need rice, beans, meat, and then some other masala items or all those things, right? So all those things will be the part of the requirement. Now design is kind of recipe, means how you're going to cook, right? So what are the things you need to do one after another? Those things will be well written in your recipe, right? So that's the design. And then once they're done designing, they will actually write the code to make the integration with the new code they will develop, right? Development. Any questions, guys? Anything? So they need to do the development. So what is the development means? Development means whatever the design document, whatever the requirement documents they have, they will work on those things to make the things happen. So they will write the code. This is the real coding. Or developers, they will write the code in order to implement whatever in the requirement and design documents. Okay. So who works on this development phase? Developers. Most of them are developers. And then you have after the development, somebody will do testing. So whoever develop those things, you are the testers. You have to make sure you read all the entire documents, requirement documents. You read the design documents and so on, and then you will start testing. We'll talk about the testing, how the testing need to be done, but we're talking about testers will do the testing, and then once testing is testing is passed, and then you will move forward to deployment, or another way you can say live. Okay, so live means that will go release to the public or customer. Okay, so now this code been released to the customer. So when you when developer do the development, they have a different machine, different server. Let's see the URL they used called dev.facebook.com. And when you are using test.facebook.com, and the live environment will be what? book.com. So this is the live environment. We are the regular user, we do not have access to those environments, right? So they cannot directly put their code on facebook.com. You guys are with me?
Yes.
So those are the different environments. So once they release that code to the production for the regular use, yeah, we are ready to use. So I've been using those things since last week, right? And then let's see the development and everything. Now they're thinking about the new technology. They're thinking about new invention. Once they release, they immediately start thinking about, okay, what we could do better to make that things more improvements. They're thinking, they already have started, probably they have R&D groups and research and development people. They are still thinking, okay, what do we need to do, what do we need to do? They'll keep asking questions. All they are thinking, okay, what I have to do, what I have to do next. So that's their the scientist's job. The scientists keep thinking about what they get paid for that, right? There are a lot of scientists for cancer or some other diseases. They don't have successful yet, but they're still getting paid. They're just thinking. It's a very good job, right? So now, since they're thinking, let's say they come up with something to make it more better, faster, nicer, something they like to modify all those animations, right? So then they will do maintenance on them. Or let's see, every time you clicking on one button, sometimes it displays, sometimes it doesn't display. So that could be a bug. So that bug couldn't found while you were testing. Because why you couldn't found it? Because you were limited user. You have like 10 people who are testing that specific part, right? Now billions of people, like Facebook have 1 billion people, they are using the Facebook daily basis. 1 billion people, 7 billion people in the world. 1 billion people, they are using the Facebook every day. 1 billion people are hitting that like button every day. Not 1 billion, I would say. Same time you are clicking like button, within a half second you click another like button, right? So like many performance issue, there could be many performance issue. Sometimes those buttons are displaying, sometimes it's not displaying even though you're clicking on it. So they need to do some kind of maintenance. So that is the maintenance we're going to do. If you they find some bug in the production level and they need to fix that bug, and that is the maintenance. In cooking, you cooked and ready to eat, everybody done eating, and then you put in the refrigerator, and then on the next day you like to eat that leftover food, right? So before you eat, you need to do some kind of maintenance, isn't it? You're not going to eat those cold food. You will warm it up, or if you see okay taste is not good, then you will make some kind of more modification to it, and then they'll come like it's then ready to eat. So that's the regular common sense. The software is nothing but regular common sense that we use. I was watching House of the Cards last night till 4 a.m. in the morning. So I finished almost 10 episodes on last night. Like that released on yesterday, by the way. So the guy here saying common sense means too common. Yeah. So well, this is really common. It's not something that is rocket science. This is like very easy and simple that we are basically using in our daily life. So why I am saying it, all these things that I just let me highlight that part, let me make it 100%. Let me know if it's too small for you. I can make it big, small, whatever to make you happy. So this is a requirement. This is a design.
Who are responsible for the design phase?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'm coming back to that. And this is a development. This is a testing. This is deployment or life maintenance. So those are the major phases in SDLC. Those are the major phases. If anybody asks you, you have to tell those are the phases in SDLC. Whatever Facebook or Microsoft or Apple or Google, whoever you see, they must follow SDLC. Without following SDLC, they will deliver a single product. Or if you cook, you follow SDLC too.
The quality improves.
Huh?
The quality improves.
Yeah.
SDLC.
So those are the phases. Now, do you need to memorize these things? Huh? You need to think about what you do in daily basis. That's all you need to say. If you remember some examples, like say the cookie examples, you will tell them. That's what it is. So, but it like interview in the interview sessions, people ask you, and you have to deliver those things. And I wouldn't recommend you memorize these things at all. You just come up with some examples that will make you remember those stuff so that you can. But again, if somebody asks you, tell me in agency phases, you cannot start with maintenance. You have to be start with planning, requirement, design, development, and not blah 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 whatever. I don't memorize those things. I just come up with that. That's why I come up with some examples of cooking, and then Facebook. This is the common sense. That's what the House of Cards said. Common sense is too common. So this is very common that we already use it in our life. Okay? Hope you understand. So now the question is, who are those people get involved in software? Who are those people? Think. This is also common sense. Let's see, she's cooking. So who is planning? She's planning, right? She's the boss of the house. She's the president of the house. So she's cooking, and then what are the items she needs? Yeah, just use like she need rice, beans, potatoes, meat, and so blah blah blah. And then who are those people get involved? Probably her husband or her brother or sister or whoever, right? So those are the people. And then design recipes, you get google.com, right? You get, those are the people like in online research. And development, who is developing? She is developing, or her husband is helping, or brother is helping, sister is helping. Testing, who is testing? She herself and some group of people is testing. Testers. Development, who is deploying? Deployer is the system admin who are maintaining the entire system. They are deploying. I'll talk about more once we come to the technology part. And then maintenance, who is maintaining? Well, if there is any bug, who going to fix those bugs? Developer, right? So developer going to fix that bug. Means depends on what are the problems of the software, those people will get involved. If a bug, first things need to reproduce that bug idea, that bug it actually exists. So who going to test that test? Testers. And who going to fix it? Developer. Who going to write a requirement for that bug? Requirement analyst. So we're going to talk about these things in a few seconds. Let's see in Facebook. Who is do this planning? The big bosses like Mark Zuckerberg, or their business people, like very high profile people, project managers, or technical project managers, or including I would say business owners. So between project manager and business owners, they are talking together to come up with what they want to develop. Like say you want to develop a software for your company, develop a website. You have candy shop, you have candy store, but you sell it online, and you like to develop a website. So then, I guess we need to take a break, no? Okay, I guess let's take a break, then we can talk with a fresh mind. Let's come back at 20 minutes, okay? Yeah. Okay, at 1. We'll start at 1. Well, we can take more break afterwards, but let's take 20 minutes of break now. Okay, so we'll back at 1.
Rasel. Então, Rasel lá muito bom no meu trabalho. We live around here in Madison, but operated. You must be yes, it's Woodbridge. That's possible, yeah. You think this is guarantee a job? You wouldn't guarantee, but it depends on like performance, how much we learn, and then it's like later. Nothing is new like this. Did you do your bachelor's here? I did my master's from Georgia. I was working at the wedding. I worked for 3 years. And then I switched to a different building. So now I can work it. Time period. Yes. I didn't work. I don't have to. You came to study? Yeah, it was just a way. I did my bachelor's and master's. For my bachelor's, I went to Master's college, and for my master's, I went to Florida State. Then we came there. Their family? Yeah. Just graduated? No, there's a lot actually. So there's a gap between them. You want to do the course? Yeah, I'm planning to. I'm a weekend pursuit. I'm working something like another job in the week. I can contact. What is this one, you can say odd job because I was not authorized to work. But now I can work. I have my work authorized. You have good experience working with the world. It isn't that simple. There are less jobs for more IT jobs. What was the I mentioned bachelor in psychology and my minor was but then after I got an oh, okay, that was diversity. So I thought if there's more jobs in IT, just be a job somewhere. Yeah. Because they won't take me as a manager, even though I have a job and all that. I need certain experience for all that. Yeah, because sometimes you have to account for the number of times you in which you will not work. Can be back in Bangladesh also. Yeah, it goes all the time. Yeah, I do. Yeah, but it's like they invited us to come, take the class and then we try make but it depends on how I perform everything. I think that I feel also instead of time that it takes me to experience. But there are things we just given your screen and change it, then they can yeah, they put a lot of space. This is what you are saying. You are saying that they think that this was like in a personal. Yeah, I think that that's true. Yeah, once I like tried for the age of, I mean, I went to a recruiting company. I was like, oh my god, I was excited to be that much experience. It seems like she has activity. So I don't think I understand. No? I took just one course during my undergrad. I didn't like it. Computer science. Not computers. Coding. I cannot. I know. This is more like monitoring and maintenance. So let's see if I don't, as it goes on, I know whether I can do it. Do you see this as experience? Yeah, this is something very common. Well, yes. That's the thing. Right. Okay. So I think for the first two. Did you go internship or yeah, I had on-campus job when I was majoring in psychology. I went to school with the kids, teacher. Okay. Yeah, and he's like very good big and that's one way to get that. It's very funny looked at that time. Really? No, I just didn't have that. I had to take oh, yeah, that's a full time. So I was like got caught up and all that. Those things are also part of did you work with the work and I work in mom is still
I guess somebody there, so I have to wait now.
brother, how are you?
Not bad. How's everything?
I'm fine. How that is?
Well, like my small one, younger one, he's kind of keep getting cold or like ear infection for couple of months. It's almost couple of times for some reason. Yeah. So.
I know nothing serious.
No, no, nothing serious, but you know, every time he gets sick, we have to give him like all those antibiotics for 10 days, and he gets, yeah, he gets really tired. Yeah, so.
I think every time school will be much better. The immunity will be much
Yeah, but yeah, he's very active, very, very active. He's kind of so much active. So.
He's eating well, everything.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, he's doing very good when he's feeling good.
Okay.
But for some reason, he keep getting sick in almost every month.
It depends. If it's in contact with other kids, that happens. Like when the kids they go to daycare or sometimes that happens. My kids now they don't get sick at all much more. Since they are like 6 and 5.
Now my other one, like older one, he was not that sick before. He never had ear infection, but this one almost having ear infection many times. Even doctor said, yeah, if you have like this often, we have to go to the like special care or something. So yeah, other than that, he's okay. He is start talking little bit like mama, daddy, papa, then. No, 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 like it's just talking, no, no, no. Yeah.
How old?
18 months. So there's like now these days a lot of kids they are talking like really late, and I was really scared of those.
Son, he was not talking at all, and then they got injected everything, and then he got selected for that special education program, and now he talks all the time.
All right, so we're talking about who are those people get involved within the team. So we are talking about the team that get involved in the planning sections. So because planning is kind of major decision what you want to develop, right? So if you are developing some website, let's say if you have a business like say chocolate candy business, then you want to develop a website. So if you want to develop, and you are the owner, right? So you are the business owner, you want to develop a website. So you going to hire some contractor, like say you, he's a contractor. He developed the software. He has a couple of people work for him, and let's say he's a project manager for that company, and he's just telling him, say, hey, I like to develop an website, and I have a candy business. I sell like 150 different candies, and this is the requirement I have. And tell me what your opinion and how much is the cost and what kind of application you're going to develop for me. And means you're going to tell your requirement and he's going to come up with ideas what kind of things he need and how much is the cost, what kind of quality he's going to provide, and all those things. We come up with the agreement and stuff. So between business owner and project managers will come up with the agreement and with what are the things he going to develop for you. Based on that, he's going to like say I need like $500,000 or something and so on. Okay, so if both of those things get agreed, and then company will start working with the rest of the topic. Okay, so initially you will know what is the main criteria for the business. So he will explain to you very high level about the application. He will explain to you, okay, this would be the candy website, e-commerce based candy website, and then you also going to write all those things. What are the things you need for that website? You like to have PayPal or credit card or debit card and all those payment system, and you like to have the way you like design and all those things. So you're going to give them high level, and they will also give it to you high level, and based on that, all those agreement will be signed off once it's done. And project manager things is done, and business owners those things get involved, and then regular technological people will get involved. So who are those people who will get involved in business requirement? Business analyst, BA. Business analyst will get involved in right here, or technical writer. So technical writer, they basically get involved very initial phase is right here. So they will be writing all those documentation between you as a business owner and project manager for the company. Let's say he works for HP Hewlett Packard, so he is a project manager for Hewlett Packard. So all these people will get involved and do the sign off. And requirement people, like business analyst people, they will be start writing the requirement based on the proposal that business owners and the project managers and the technical writers, they have written all those documents. So they will have, let's see, 100 requirement. Let's see, 100 initial requirement. 100 initial requirements. And once you are done with, you're not going to write 100 requirement in a day, right? So you're going to write, let's say, 10 requirements starting from today. And in the meanwhile, the designer will be, so designer also like part of BA. Or also there are some more people get involved on this section. On the top of BA, the developer. And some DBA. And sometimes tester, but not most of them. So those are the people get involved while there is some design documents. So they need developer because sometimes the designer may not understand, but designer is the main player who basically decides how the animation will be, how the website will look like, how the buttons will lay out, what kind of text they will write, and all those things, what kind of mechanism that will happen, and all those different criteria designer will decide, and they will discuss with BA to write the documents, the business requirement documents, and developer will put the input to the designer to make it more interactive. And DBA will consult with what kind of data those will be involved. If you guys don't understand any of those things, any of shortcut that I am writing, please ask me the question. I will be happy to answer all those things. Okay, make sure you understand because this is very important. Every single steps are here, and SDLC is the most important thing because, as I said, out of 10 of 8 of the jobs are based on manual testing. Okay. So all those people get involved with the designer, and then a developer. Well, the most developer will get involved in the development phase. Developer, they will be start developing based on the requirement documents. Now, a lot of people can ask, oh, yeah, well, you are working with the requirement, you are working with the design. Which document comes first? Well, requirement document comes first before design. Like cooking. You don't you have to get the item before you get the recipe. You have the items, and then based on the items, then you decide or modify your recipe, right? So then you get the design done. Developer start developing the code based on the requirement document and based on the design. So design document is what? Design document is more descriptive level of requirement documents. It's not something, and design documents is developed based on each and every requirement. So if you have hundreds requirement, you're going to have 100 design documents. So if the requirement document, let's say 5 pages, design document they have like 50 pages. Because they will have all those screenshots, all those mechanisms, all those technologies written in step by step. So that's the way developer will make their life easy. Developer will look at them and then they will know what are the things they need to develop.
Which one will be shorter?
The requirement. Yeah. And design is like you are more designing stuff. Like say you want to build a house. You are the owner of the place, and you say you hire some engineer. Hey, I like to build 2 houses in here. Done. And then you say engineers like can you come up with couple of sketches? I will choose out from there. So they come up with a couple of like blueprint, and then you say, okay, I like this, I like this. That's all. You choose it, and then some other people like then developer will start developing, and tester will test to make sure the building is good and other stuff. Understand? So you just give a small piece of requirement to the engineers, and engineer will come up with all those designing stuff. How many bedrooms will be, how many windows will be, how many doors will be, all those things will be part of the design. Understand? So we know the requirement will be shorter, and design document will be larger documents. And then you have the developer who will be start developing, tester who will be start testing, and tester, there will be different type of tester, by the way. We know there will be manual tester or functional tester. There will be functional tester and integration tester. There will be regression tester. There will be automation tester, and etc. So if you look at it online, there is hundreds of different testing types exist. So we're going to talk about a couple of it, and to make you understand what are they. So well, you don't need hundreds of different testers to work for all those different type of testing. You may have one tester can do almost everything. One tester can do functional testing, one tester can do integration testing, one tester can do regression testing, and same tester can do same thing. And the team lead or test manager will decide who will do. Okay?
They are like different specializations.
They are different. Like automation tester, he will be responsible to write the code or write the automation script, and regression tester, they will be responsible for do certain things. So you are assuming they are different people, but one people also can do all those things. should be able to do that. So we'll be learning all those different type of testing and how to do that also. And then deployment means who are those people get involved? Like system admin. Who are those system admin? Means who handle the system, who handle the servers, who handle the machine itself. So they have access to those machines. None other people have the access. So like for example, we are typing here facebook.com, right? Facebook.com. So where this page is coming from? Server, some locations, or the data that we are typing that is coming from some database server, and this page is coming from web server. So all those different technologies working behind the scenario. Who is maintaining those server? Those are system admin. So anything, any code or something that you deploy, the system admin will upload those code to the environment, to the different environments like dev environment, test environment, and production environment. So right now we are just talking about 3 environments. There is many environments that can be developed. So there is a dev environment where developer will be working, test environment that is, again, all those keywords that I am talking, if you don't understand, please let me know. Okay, I'm keep telling the same thing again and again because those are very important to know. And maintenance, again, like if there is a bug in the production, something happens, or a machine need to be upgraded. Let's say the machine that they are using, like say Windows XP, they want to update to Windows 7. So in that case, they need to do some kind of maintenance. Whenever the maintenance happens, then tester need to get involved. Developer need to get involved, because there are requirement people need to be involved. So all those people, not only those, all these people get involved. Anything problem with the server, all these people will get involved to resolve the issue. Got it? So that's why this is the life cycle that happens. And any major decision, business owner and project manager will take. It's regular common sense too, right? Any questions on this? So we are talking about each and every aspect of the software, each and everything that you're going to work with, any software that you're going to work with, they will have all those different phases. Now the question is, if you do Google it, if you type in Google SDLC steps or SDLC phases or something, different people write those keywords in different way. Some people will say initialization, some people will say initial planning, some people will say requirement and design together, some people will say coding instead of development, some people will say functional testing, regression testing, integration testing, unit testing, and all those keywords like that. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different phases, right? Some people may have 20 phases. So it's nothing wrong with that. So every company, they design their SDLC by themselves. So what I do in myself, I just think planning, then requirement, and then development, and then deployment, and then maintenance. Those are the 5 phases, the big phases.
What about it?
Testing part of the development. Testing is part of the development. Design is part of the requirement. So mostly the business analyst and developer come together and then come up with the design. So they are not something the outsider people, but there are some big companies like say they like to do the complete UI, means user interface. They hire some designer to make those designs, to make it more interactive, to make it more user friendly and something. So those are totally different categories of people they get hired. But the thing is, those are the main 5 phases are in SDLC. But you can split all those things to many split. Like say, even in testing, you can split to functional testing, integration testing, regression testing, automation testing, UAT testing, and so on. So you can put those things in the list as well. But this is the main 5 phases SDLC.
Is that the work for the ladies room too? The key that we have here?
Oh, I thought it was just I thought where is the ladies side food? Well, I'm not sure whether I shall leave it though. Yeah. Oh, why you were looking for ladies room? Oh, okay. Okay, like yeah, actually he will give it to you. So there is 5 bases in SDLC and those are there. Hope you understand. This is very very important topic, by the way. Without knowing this, I cannot proceed to the next level. Any questions on this? Okay. No, basically Saturday, Sunday, a lot of it's kind of family-owned business in here. Everything. So it's not a government project or something, and not allowed to be children. Okay. Again, those are major advantage and drawback. Everything has advantage and drawback, right? So if you follow some organized way of doing something, you of course you get some advantage, right? So if you do not follow the like the flow, or you do not follow something is organized way of doing it, then it will take time. You will lose your control. You will have a lot of bugs. You will have a lot of problems while working. Right? So everything that you are doing, if you follow some kind of organized way of doing it and make some plan before you do that, so that's the way you will have like your own control of doing things. So software development lifecycle is something that if you follow, you will have less chance to make a mistake. That's the main important thing. Yeah, there is in book definition. You'll say is a control, accountability, error detection, or many more, many more. And what is the drawback? Yeah, time consuming means well, even though if you spend some time and you get a quality product. Of course, we end of the day we want quality products no matter what how long it takes, right? So that matters. So if you spend less time and don't get a quality product, like most of us, most of the people, like yeah, if you want to buy some like say phone, a smartphone. I was looking at Best Buy yesterday. Oops. They were selling some smartphone for $35, unlocked phone, some name called BLU or something. BLU? Yeah, they were selling for $35 this phone. One iPhone cost you like more than $1,000. So the phone that you are using, you feeling yourself more quality product. You are using something, you make your mind satisfactions. You feel really happy of it. And the phone that you are using is spending $35. The quality and product and output would be kind of $35, right? So, what I'm saying, if you follow the proper guidelines of software, when you develop the software, you will have the quality product. That matters. Like you can buy car. I guess the Toyota Corolla is $80,000 or $50,000, or you can buy similar quality of car, the different name like Mercedes or Lamborghini for millions of dollars, right? the output kind of like say what happened, you cannot drive more than 60 or 65 miles or whatever is speed limit, even though you are driving million car and I'm driving $18,000 car. But quality is different, and they take more longer time to make that thing in order to make you feel you happy. Their research and development, and they are spending more time. Apple was saying, well, to make the phone cost you $170. They're saying why they are charging $1,000 because they invested a lot of money on R&D, research and development. They already have spent it. And they need to adjust, they need to make a price for the iPhone, they need to do the research, they need to make all those costs in order to make money. They're the most profitable company by selling for selling the iPhone. Like all those Samsung phones they are selling, they're not making enough money because they are selling cheap. So iPhone they are selling, they are very consistent with their price because they have demand. Right. So again, so even though the drawback is time consuming, the quality of the things that you're going to get is more important. For me, it's more important than time. It sometimes doesn't matter because if you are, if there is a raining and you want to buy, you want to save from the rain and you buy a umbrella for $2 and use for 1 hour and gone, that's okay. So, but most of the time, we people we think about the quality. We like to get a quality product. In that case, you need to follow some guidelines in order to develop the software. Okay. And again, this is not my note. This is whoever developed this note, and they put all those different phases. If you match with these phases to whatever I wrote on my note, it's totally different. It's kind of similar, but it's different, right? So again, that's why I said don't memorize it. Just read and use your common sense to understand what it is. Like this guy, he put identification, he put planning and analysis, requirement, and then design, development, testing. It's kind of same thing, right? It's kind of almost same thing. As I can see, up to this point also same. He just put identification on the top of it. See, all depends on the company to company, various company to company, what are the phases they want to include on their SDLC. Understand? Any question on this? What? Why he put identification? What do you think? What is the responsibility on the identification thing? Just use your common sense for cooking project. Like let's say you're cooking, you're planning to cook tonight rice, beans, and meat. So before you planning to do this, what is the identification level? Means
from what
you go to cook. Okay. You see, that's have the answers. So that's how you think. You know, the interview, like as I do, if I go to the interview, people ask me question. I don't know all those answers, but I use my common sense to answer them. Because if I say no, I don't know, I lose the job. I don't have the job. I cannot say no. People make you like try to make you nervous, try to ask you questions here and there, even no relevant to it. So, but you have to smart enough to answer them nicely, right? So that's what it is. It's all use your common sense to make those steps. Again, those steps has to be lined. You cannot start with implementation and then say identification. When you cook, you don't start eating before you cook, right? You don't will say yeah cooking and then you will say yeah byproduct. You're not going to do that. You have to buy the product, and then you have to follow the step-by-step guidelines in order to get your destination. So those are the different phases. What we did, we identify all those phases. We also find out who are those people who will be working, what are the responsibilities for those things, and what are the things need to be done. All those different phases is very important. And if you get manual testing job, like if there is 1 hour of interview, 30 minutes of interview would be based on this. We'll talk about more about it, but let's move forward. So since we already talked about SDLC different phases, and we talk about the responsibilities and so on, like a lot of different companies, as I said, I came up with 5 different phases in the SDLC, right? Some people say, no, I want to use 10. Some people say, no, forget about it, I want to use 15. Some people say, no, I like to stick with 5. Less is better, easy to understand, and something, blah, blah. Now, there's some of the company, some of the inventors, they say, well, let me come up with some ideas. So one guy, he came up with ideas. Let's see, within the SDLC, he modified the entire SDLC methodologies, and he says, okay, I found a better output if I follow these steps, this process. So one of the process, or they call methodologies. One of the process or methodologies they call waterfall. One of the guy came up with idea, say, hey, if I follow the waterfall methodology, I found a best output, or I found the if I follow the waterfall methodology, my product would be this much quality, and this is the benefit I'm going to get, and these are the drawback I'm going to have, and so on. Each and everything has a drawback and benefit, right? So all those different methodologies, all those we just put here 3 of them. There's many more in the market. So those are the 4, like 3 of them are most popular in the market. Even I say these are the most popular one now these days, agile methodology. Everybody wants to do agile, but we'll talk about agile in a few seconds. But the idea of those methodologies is nothing but SDLC. There's the main one, SDLC. So from the SDLC, from the cook food, whatever food you made, and now on the next day you don't want to follow the same recipe, but your main concept, the base concept will be same, but you just want to make like something different. Or instead of putting the same the masala, you're going to put different spice. Instead of putting, like, there is so many different masala, like sha, I guess, a lot of I forgot. So all those different spice, you put different. You put one spice on today, another spice on today, another spice on today. And then after 3rd day, you're going to choose which one is feel better, and then finally you will start using them. Or if you already know this spice is really good, you will be start using that spice for quite a long time. Okay, so those are different spice of SDLC. You guys are with me, right? Is it easy to understand? Okay, so one of the spice is called waterfall. So one of the call is waterfall. Look at the word called waterfall. What is ring your bell in waterfall? Means water is coming down, right? So as we see right here in SDLC, so we have. Let me get a different annotation. So one of the method, like one of the phases in a requirement, and this is a blah blah, right? So what is waterfall? It look like water is falling down like this, right? Water is always go down. Water is always go down. So if we make those water go down like this in the downfall, so where you are starting? You are starting from planning, then requirement, then design, development, and so on. Can water go back? No, right? So if you are working in planning, you already signed off with the project managers and then business analysts, and then you are working with uh, uh, requirement, whatever requirement been developed, and move forward to the next steps and so on. The waterfall methodology is just once you done with one step, you cannot move back. You cannot move back. That is the concept of waterfall, and that's the definition of it. You can look through in online, read more book definition, but that's the main definition is waterfall methodology is the steps that you need to follow. If you're done with one steps or one phase, you cannot move back to the previous steps. You have to move forward to the next steps. So the question is, well, then what are you going to do? Like if there is something wrong with the requirement, and then you need to fix it. How you go to back? How you going to go back? Then you will say, well, no problem. We are working with 10 requirements, right? Say 9 requirement is good. Then we'll continue with 9 requirements, and then later on down the road, we say in from this phase to this phase, we are taking, let's see, 3 months. 3 months. So after 3 months, we're going to add that requirement that has fallen with, and then we'll add another requirement on the top of it. Then we'll start again. So something wrong with while in the development phase, they found some big issue in the designing. So they'll say, well, yeah, just pull out the requirement, and then we'll start working with the next phase, and so on. So they said, like waterfall says, like, yeah, well, if you're done with one phase, you cannot go back. It's like our age. You keep getting older, you cannot go back to the child again. No way. And you cannot reboard, right? So you cannot be start again after 3 months. So there's the concept of waterfall methodology. But the people may ask you, tell me, what are the phases in the waterfall methodology? I guess if even I look at this note, he may put some steps, I'm not sure. So what are the phases in waterfall? What are the phases in iterative? What are the phases in agile? Those are the same. The same steps. Same steps. Don't make yourself confused. If you look at an online type waterfall phases, so they will come up with all those different keywords here and there. You don't want to deal with all those different keywords at all. You just stick with the keyword that you learned in SDLC. Understand it? So don't make yourself confused at all. You will start memorizing like a waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology steps are these, blah blah blah. You spend about an hour to memorize it. Then you spend another hour to memorize another like 4 hours you spend for memorizing all those 4 different steps. And then somebody asks you after 1 month, and you said another one, then it's not supposed to be. Right? So don't make yourself in trouble. Just stay in one. Okay? So then move forward to iterative. Iterative is another way called like a spiral methodology. Minimize this. Let me get some pen for you. Okay, so iterative methodology is something like again we already know the planning, right? You have planning. Planning. Okay, so you start with planning, and then you going to do a circle. Yes, it's like a spiral, and then you're going to make another row here, something like this. So you have planning, then you're going to have a requirement, you're going to have a design, you're going to have development, you're going to have testing, and once testing is done, then once testing, I should have put testing here and start from requirement here. Let me see. Requirement, design, development. Let's see this spec testing. So we start here, do this, do this. Okay, so this is kind of keep circling around, and finally they are doing deployment, and this is maintenance. So this is the picture of it. So the first planning is complete, and then the requirement guy will start working with the requirement, developer, design guy will do designing, developer do developing, testing do testing. So if one of the phase is something wrong, they can fix it, and they will go back and forth until the testing is completed. And once testing is completed, then they will go to the live, and then we will go to the maintenance and so on. You guys are with me? So it's kind of the things that you are trying, you will be keep trying again and again. It's kind of learner permit. You have a learner permit and you don't have driving license yet, right? So you go to the DMV every week to get your license. So try in every week until you pass. So you done with the planning, and you will keep working with all those 4 phases again and again until the testing is complete. Then once it's done, then you will go to the deployment and you go to the maintenance. And as you can see, I use the same phases in here as well. Is it easy to understand the iterative?
So if there was a problem in the design phase,
then designer will fix it and they will give it to the developer. Developer will fix the code and tester will update the test case and do the testing.
Hello.
Yes.
So I had a question. So for the iterative, so it constantly moves around the circle until it's completely developed, where it could be implemented into
Production.
Production. So that's
Yeah.
going into. So everything prior to that is just pre-production.
Yes, everything prior to the production. Production is live. Means like Facebook, once they implement that animation, before they did in the production, they did all those phases back and forth until that is passed.
Okay.
the arrows are only in one direction, or they can go back as well.
Oh, the arrows are keep circling around. That's why it's called life cycle. Now these arrows is already decided. They already side off. That's why I put one direction. But yeah, if he's you guys think he's not good, you can always contact with project manager. Project manager contact with business owners to make that changes as well. So this is kind of very flexible. Yeah.
Can you surpass like one of the steps and go back? If you think the problem is not in that development, but in that requirement, then just directly go back.
Yeah, you can. These people will have a direct communication with them. Yeah, that will have a direct communication with them. So if you find a problem in the requirement, your tester, you will open a defect against the requirement.
Okay.
So against the requirement, and requirement team will fix the requirement team. It's not that you will find a defect only for software. You will find a defect for requirement as well. If the requirement is not relevant or requirement is missing, you will open a defect for requirement.
So in this again, what is the advantage? It means that when we train,
the advantage
we
is
go back.
you will have flexibility to fix your application.
Okay.
At waterfall, you don't have that flexibility. You cannot go back.
Okay.
Say you are 25 years old. When you was 18, you made a mistake. Can you go back and fix that things and come back? No. That's waterfall.
This makes more sense. I
Yeah.
everyone waterfall is like it's very
Yeah, like again, this is called traditional methodology.
Yeah.
Because people don't use them anymore. It used to be used, but still some people are using it. Like for example, like I can give you examples of Windows operating system, Windows 7 or Windows Vista or whatever. Like so Windows Vista came in, that's waterfall. They cannot remake it, so they have to totally destroy the product and come up with new product afterwards. So Windows is a perfect example of waterfall. A lot of some of the government sectors they using waterfall. Depends on what kind of product that you are making. Like say you are building a building, right? So once the structure has been developed, you cannot unless you totally destroy it and make it brand new. That's kind of waterfall. Understand? So again, the big projects they always go with waterfall because they don't want to take chance to, and big project always take longer time. Waterfall always take long-term projects. Like say Windows is doesn't they cannot make the Windows operating system within 2 weeks. They go by like say years, like 1 year, 2 year, 3 years to make a specific Windows operating system, right? Like an iPhone, every year they come up with new operating system. They don't go very often like the other Samsung or other companies are doing. So they like to have a quality product. And Waterfall always come up with very good quality product because they take time to build the software. So they have advantage and disadvantage both.
Why do they take time to build? Because they're more careful?
They always come up with because they cannot go back to the previous model. They always to be very sensitive about each and every step. Okay, so iterative mostly like a small or mid-level project. They work with iterative methodology because you have more flexibility to working within the phases. Now the last another one, this is very popular now these days. Everybody love to use it. This is called agile methodology. So agile is kind of close to iterative, but I will explain to you the difference between that. So agile is another software development. Actually, I have a couple of pictures. I don't need to draw these. So this is kind of pictures I'll explain to you. So in agile is kind of what happened now. Many government agencies and a lot of small companies they start using Agile. Agile is something group of people they are working together. So they are kind of working in a group, like entire people. Like say if we have 35 people, 35 people out of 35 people, some people are like say a product owner, some people are team members, some people are Scrum Master. There will be one Scrum Master within the entire project, and there are for basically those three type of people I see. So product owner is the owner for the product. Like say you developing a chocolate website, like a candy website, huh? So you will be the product owner. A Scrum Master is kind of project manager, a similar role as a project manager. So this person will manage the entire team, So if you have 35 people within the team, so out of 35 members, you're going to have some business analysts, some there are some people like some business analysts, some testers, some developers, some system admin, and all those different type of people that we already explained before. So all those 35 people will be under the one umbrella and under him working under Scrum Master. So Scrum Master is kind of project manager. He basically works directly with product owner. Okay, so he always communicates with product owner and provides a lot of update stuff of what's going on here and there and all those things. And also he need to work with the team members, each and every team members. So he need to get the update from the team member and put everything together, create a reports and update to the product owner. And product owner has to be very, very knowledgeable person to provide information to the team or to the Scrum Master. So he basically explained what and how and what are the things he basically want for his project, for his application and so on. Okay, so now let me delete and bring it again. So all these three group of people, like this is the biggest group, this is the big people who are working, and they are kind of management type of people who are working. So they are making the project to be active. So they are doing so many different things. What they are doing, like as you can see, you don't see here planning or the design or development or implementation and all those things in here. All you can see different, but the concept of the SDLC is exactly the same thing, nothing different. All the things they're doing right here, this is similar as planning. So this is where they are planning what are the things they will be working on. Okay, and then out of that they're doing some product backlog. Product backlog is something, whatever the requirement, whatever the problem they have during the release, during the cycle, they're putting those things in the sideline. That's say, okay, I will work on that things later. So they're just putting those things in the sideline, and then they have release cycle within 2 to 4 weeks. Some people do 2 to 6 weeks. But 2 to 4 weeks is the standard release cycle. They have to release the product within 2 to 4 weeks, no matter what. So whatever portion been done, they only will release those portions. So if you are working with 10 requirements and you done with 5 requirements, they will release only 5 requirements, and other 5 requirements will go to the product backlog. They will go to the product backlog. So you will be working again to do the sprint planning and then sprint backlog and then so on. So sprint backlog is something that you have not complete. You did not complete all those things that is supposed to be released. Okay, so in here is another task being done in every day, the daily Scrum meeting. So what is that meeting is? All those team members, including the Scrum Master and product owner, attend that meeting to have it's about 15 minutes of meeting. All they do, some of them are verbal. They said, okay, what they did yesterday, what they are doing today, and what other things they're going to do on tomorrow. So 3 different updates. What is your accomplishment? What are the things you basically did on yesterday? Let's see, you write 3 test cases. You will say, yeah, I wrote 3 test cases yesterday. Today I will write another 2 test cases, and tomorrow I will start testing. Something like this. You have to give them those updates every day. So some company, they have sticky pad. So they write this things in the sticky pad and they put under on the daily scrum meeting. So they put all those bases in the black whiteboard. They put all those things in the sticky pad, and that's part of daily scrum meeting. So every day, no matter what, you have to be attend on the scrum meeting and get put your input. And if you have any question, you can ask Scrum Master or you can ask product owner directly. But most of the time, you will be consult with Scrum Master before you talk to the product owner, because product owner is the customer. You don't want to make any kind of hassle with them, right? So. So once since you have meeting every day and you are working with a team and you have a release cycle within 2 to 4 weeks. So within 2 to 4 weeks, whatever portions of work, if you're done, they will do the release. If it's not done, they will open another sprint for it. We added couple of more requirements. So instead of saying requirement, they call user story in the sprint in the Scrum. Instead of saying requirement, they call user story. So user story is similar as requirement.
Is there any accountability for the backlog work, or they have to do it eventually?
Yeah, have to do it eventually, of course. They will do the prioritization and all those things again, and they will say, okay, this product we need to go fast, and that product we have to do later, and so on, and blah blah blah. So that's the way all those product backlog and sprint backlog happens. And then within the sprint planning meeting, they decide what are those products will go to the release of this cycle. So every cycle would be 2 to 4 weeks. Like different, some company do 2 weeks, some company do 4 weeks, some company do 6 weeks. I don't see 6 weeks. Most of the time it's up to 4 weeks on monthly basis. So now once task is completed, then you will say finish work, and then it will go to the release. And once this release is done, then there will be a final meeting after the release. This is called sprint retrospective meeting. So within this meeting, what they do, they just talk about lesson learned. Lesson learned is something that they do the brainstorming, what they did right, what they did wrong, and how they could improve of the process to make it better. So there's the 3 different things they talk about sprint retro meeting. So the interview, they will ask you what is product backlog, what is sprint backlog, what are the things you talk about in sprint planning meetings, what is sprint retro, and when you go to the release, and what is the daily scrum. Or they will ask you the entire picture of it. They will ask you, tell me what you do in Agile methodology. So exactly what I explained to you, this is what you did explain.
So this is more interactive.
Yeah, this is more interactive with the employees and clients and managers and everything. You work together. It's a team collaboration. It's a collaboration team. But other methodology, once it's done, then you don't have to talk to them much. And in here, you work like it in a single table. You talking to them and seeing them, or more interaction. Then other methodology, they don't have this much of interaction. So this is kind of more work to do. You have to be always active. You have to attend to the meeting every day, and you need to, since you are attending meeting, status meeting every day, you need to do some work, right? So whatever work you are doing, you need to give them status on the next day and telling them, okay, this is what you did yesterday, this is what you're doing, and Scrum Master will look at the progress, means what holding you down, not in finishing on time. So they will have a sprint in 4 weeks. They will split the time. Say this requirement is behind. So Scrum Master, what he will do, he will add another 1 and 2 member within that requirement to speed it up to finish it in 4 weeks. Understand? So it's kind of teamwork. It's not that you are working. Let's see, you wouldn't be able to finish in 4 weeks. It may take another 4 weeks. Then he will add a couple of more resources to that product to finish it on time and so on. So every member will be working in collaboration basis. We're working together to make the product successful. Understand? So this is the most popular methodology in the market at this moment. Any question on this?
So the main advantage here is to work in collaboration.
Collaboration and deliver the product faster, and you don't have to wait months and months to get the final product. Like say, everybody is waiting for new Samsung 8 or something. 7 is coming, I guess. New Samsung 7. Everybody is waiting. Okay, when that will come? When that will come? In here, you will know within 2 to 3 weeks will come. And you know what is coming, and you know what you are looking for, and also there is a sprint review meeting right here, and this meeting will be happened with the product owner. If product owner say, no, I don't like it, I don't mean to this way, can you make it different way? Then they will start working on that way. So again, this is more collaboration with product owner and the project owners. So they are talking each others to make what they want, what the customer wants. But in waterfall, the Windows 7 is came out, and then after, no, I don't like it. We are the user, right? No, it's useless. We don't see any Windows 8. We don't see any start button. No, we don't like it. So you have to wait another 1 year to get the start button to Windows 10. But if they would have followed like Agile, in the very early phase, they would know what customer wants. So these are the customers. Customer will say, yeah, no, I don't want this. Within 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they will know. Or during the sprint, you can tell the customers, hey, I am making in this way. What do you think? You have any recommendation? Because they are talking live every day in the morning. Understand? Yeah.
Scrum Master is replacement of
No, project manager. It's a replacement of project manager. They have business analysts within this team. So Scrum Master is the highest position for this entire project. Yeah. Now what happened is the big companies, they don't want to resolve the project management post. They still have project managers right here who handle multiple Scrum Master. Say these project managers have like 3 Scrum Master work for. So he get update for all those things, something like that. But Scrum Master is the head of this entire project. Everybody needs to listen to the Scrum Master.
So the sprint deployment and waterfall, is that similar?
Yeah, that's the name they use for this as well. Instead of saying release, they call it sprint. The replacement word of release. They don't use release word in any single place. They call it sprint. So now almost 99% of the interview they will ask about that. We must know that. Okay? No. Any questions on this? It's very important methodology, very important. Again, we already talk about another very big advantage of SI. You do not need to create so much documentation. You know, like you need to create very detail-oriented test case, very detail-oriented test plan, and so on. Because you have limited amount of time, you will be writing all of them are high level. So they don't care writing like very detail-oriented documentation at all. Okay. And disadvantage is since projects are like a release or sprint are happening too quickly, you may lose, you may not have very good quality product. You may have more defect because everybody in pressure, they have to finish in 4 weeks and so on. They may miss couple of testing while they are working on a specific product and so on. But again, everything has a risk, right? Without risk, you won't be able to work it out. Understand? Let me skip this at this moment. So, teams, we already talked about it. Those are the different members working under the SDLC. Like you have the users, like business owners or those things. Business analyst, programmer means developer, quality assurance tester, configuration management. Who are those configuration management people? Configuration management people are similar as system admin, but they have a different team called configuration management who maintain the version of the software. So right now we are working with Facebook 3.0. Next time Facebook 3.1. Then following release Facebook 3.5 and depends on how many requirements you are working with. Okay, so codification management team, they control all those different versions. Say you writing an essay of like opportunity of America. You are writing an essay. First draft version you whatever you write, and second draft version you have, third draft version you have, and then you have final version. So you have 5 different versions. So you have final version, you have draft 1, 2, 3, 4. This is very initial, then 1, 2, 3, and final version. Now you submitted your final version, but each and every draft that you made, you presented those draft to your teachers to say, hey, this is my draft version. Teacher modified it, and then then you made a second version. Then teacher modified the second version, and then blah blah. Then you made a final version, right? Then after the final version, teacher said, oh, I don't like this one. Can you go back to the previous version, modify it a little different way? Then you always have chance to go back to the previous version. And if teacher said, no, go before one, that no, go before, oh no, go very initial one. So you always go back and forth to modify or grab some data from the previous version and so on. The configuration management team do exactly the same thing. So what they do, you are the developer or testers, a developer makes some changes to the application. Testers, they're testing, right? So tester, while they're testing, testers find out a big issue with the software. This is totally not working. So what the configuration management team will do, whatever the code they drop to the environments, configuration management team will go back to the older code and reverse back to the previous code. This is not working with that new code. So they have always go back and forth to the older code and so on. So if you do not have configuration management team, then you will have very big problem within the application in terms of if your software is not working, you're not going to have chance to go back to the earlier version. Understand? So if you let's see at home, you have 2 TVs. One is the latest model with all those new technology on, and you have old TV that you put it in the bedroom or somewhere else. Okay, so you are watching the latest model and everything, you are watching movies or something, and suddenly it stop working. So what are you going to do? You will go back to the old one and cover your time, right? So in software, it's very important to save the older version, copy of the older version. It's always we write a like project documents or project paper, like final project paper. You always keep draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, and final version. So you always can go back and forth to see what you did earlier and what are you doing today. If teacher doesn't like it or you don't like it, you always go back. So that's the configuration management team do. Okay, I'm going to take for it. Okay. You guys understand about the configuration management?
I have a question. That question might be a little bit out of the right of it. The configuration management team people, how is the market for them? Like basically, we say that sometimes the market is full. They have access to jobs the same as QA. Well, I know some people they do that training, and actually I have my buddy. He finished his training about a year ago, and they really never start following you guys.
Yeah. So not like in a specific company, they don't need many people for the configuration management job. They basically keep at least 2 people. One is senior and another is junior. So what they do, they always whatever I just explained to you. Every different new build, every build comes in, they always keep the older code as a backup and then install the new code. So if new code has some problem, they can bring the old code back to the environment again. That's the simple job they have. It's very easy job. So let's say you have your computer, you always keep your backup. So every day you go home and keep backup onto your entire system. So if you do not, if the current system is not working, you always can go restore your machine to the whatever date you want. Like they have it right here in all program, accessories, system tool, system restore. I don't do that. This is my office computer. So you always have chance to go back to whatever date you want. So that's simply that. Now these days, even you don't need a configuration management people because of those restoring software. You can it automatically restore the entire system. You can always go back to select the date like a Windows restore. You can always select the date you want, time you want, second you want. They'll automatically restore that point. It's kind of switch back and forth. So that's why that position is not too much demand. But tester has always a lot of demand. No matter what, you have to test it.
Because I want to make sure, since I've been reading, I see that.
But they must need configuration management people who basically specifically working on that switch. Even though you have that switch very easy life, still you need someone to handle. Because if you give that responsibility to another tester, tester will be multitasking, will make a mistake.
So who set up the tool?
Well, in the very initial process, there is so many tools exist in configuration management, like Microsoft have one, Hewlett Packard, like even ALM is also configuration management. It's not the powerful one, but they also call configuration management. HP have couple of, then different big companies, they have their own configuration management tool. They are very enterprise level. So who configure their things? Some subject matter expert they can configure, or if they don't have subject matter expert, they buy support from the company. They come in and they do the configuration and done.
My question is that if we work with Selenium, so we have to download dependencies, jar file, who does it? Testers or
Testers. So dependencies, jar files, grid, and all those things they done by you. You can use those Maven inside the method. Once you put the dependencies, then it will be done. So yeah, those are the test systems, not the configuration. So the configuration management are the build. They are the build. They handle the build. Means you have one build, you have second build, third build. If one build is not working, you can always go back to the back one, or you can go back and forth, back and forth. That's the answer.
What is business intelligence?
Business intelligence is something like is kind of artificial intelligence, like a robotic science.
Okay.
It's similar like that.
Okay. But that's different from.
Nothing's in here. It's business analyst here is something you are working with what the user wants. So they collect the information from the users and they write the requirement based on that in the formal documents.
What consists of those kind of documents? Is there some kind of coding required or just?
No, it's just a couple of. This is what we basically work on. Software testing lifecycle. You guys want to take 10 minutes of break? I guess somebody is falling asleep. So let's take a 10 minute of break and we can start again. Okay. All right. Software testing lifecycle is something that is the things that we learned earlier in SDLC. Let me go back to that place. So in SDLC we learn about planning, requirement, and all those things, right? So now, as you are a tester, now we are focusing on the testing part of SDLC. In SDLC, you not basically get involved in each and every phase. So what are the phases you get involved? You get involved in the requirement, you get involved in the design, or you get involved in the development, you get involved in the testing, of course, and sometimes you also may need to get involved in the deployment. So those are the different phases you get involved with. Okay, so if somebody asks you, as you are a tester, in which phase in SDLC you start testing or you get involved with, you have to say, yeah, I'm involved with requirement phase, there's the initial phase I need to involve, and then sometimes I participate in design, and sometimes I participate in development meetings, and of course I do the testing and deployment. I need to test in production environment as well. So those are the phases you need to involve. Now the thing is software testing lifecycle. Software testing lifecycle. So this is not same as SDLC. So SDLC. This is called SDLC, software testing lifecycle. So what do you do in software testing lifecycle? As I said, we start with requirement, right? We start with requirement. So what do you do in the requirement? You analyze requirement. Analyze requirements. So you start analyzing your requirements. So once you've done analyzing, so what is the next step? You start writing your test scenario or test case. You start writing your test scenarios. So what are those test scenarios? Say if you are testing some specific items, you need to find out what are the things you're going to test. Say you cook some food, and then you testing to make sure few different things. You testing to make sure salt is good. You testing to make sure all those ingredients are properly are mixed. You testing to make sure tastes are good. Let's say 3 different things. So you write all those test scenarios. 3 different scenarios. So those are test scenarios. So once you're done writing test scenarios, you write test cases. So what are those test cases? Test cases are based on those three different scenarios that you write. You write test scenarios means how did you verify? How did you verify test is good? How did you verify salt is good? So how did you verify salt is good? You will say, okay, take a spoon and get some food and then put it in your mouth and then verify salt is okay. That's all. So you need to write all those steps down, step by step. That is called test case. So step by step writing your test scenarios is called test case. So each and every test scenarios you're going to have those test cases. So once you're done writing test scenarios, you're going to execute them. So if you write those steps, let's say you are coming from Woodbridge to here, whatever directions that you follow, that is test case. And you are really following those directions. That's called executing those directions, right? So those are execute test cases.
You can choose one from the scenario.
Means each and every test case you're going to execute.
Okay.
So let's see, you have 3 test scenarios, and each and every test scenarios you may have each test scenario may have many test cases. So if you have like 3 test scenario, you may have let's see, each and every test like first test scenario you have 3 test cases, and second scenario you have 5 test cases, and third scenario you have another 5. So total 13 test cases. I'm going to show you some real examples as well. So you may have many test cases for one single scenario, or you may have one test case, or we have one scenario only, depends on how big the requirement is. Okay, and then you're going to execute all those 13 test cases. So you may have, let's see, for example, maybe you have 13 test cases. You have 3 test scenarios. So you're going to execute all those 13 test cases line by line. So once you're done executing, you're going to, while you're executing, you may find some defect, right? Log defect. So if you find a defect, you log a defect, or if you do not find a defect, you will document as pass. It says pass testing. Submit defect analyze result. It is a pass testing. It's a analyze result and pass testing. Analyze log defect or submit defect if any. So if you find any defect, then you log. Otherwise, you don't. And once you're done, then you're going to analyze all those test results, and you will say, yeah, testing is complete. So you basically testing where? You testing on test environment. So first time you start testing in test environment. So once you're done, then they will have another environment called UAT environment, user access testing. So user access testing, there's another environment. Then they will have another environment called production. So production is a live environment. So developer, they basically work with dev environment. So developer will be writing their code in dev, and they will upload the code to the test environment. Tester will then all those, once testing completed, then all those code will be uploaded to UAT, and then UAT testing will be completed by the customer, by the business owners. Business owners will be testing in UAT. If business owners say yes, okay, we are happy, then code will be moved to the production.
Wait, what is UAT?
UAT means user acceptance testing. So user will be testing the requirements that will be implemented to the production. Okay, so that is a totally different server, database server or web server and everything. So totally different setup. Okay, so those are the different environment you're going to work with, but tester is mostly involved with testing environment, but they also test in UAT, they also test in production. They just do quick test, means it's really quick test to make sure your requirement being implemented, your requirement being implemented to production, your requirement being implemented to UAT. So before you let the customer know, okay, go ahead and test in UAT, you would like to make sure that it's okay working on that, because you don't want to have a bad impression from the customer. Got it? So those are the different environments, and these are the life cycle of software testing life cycle. So
can you give one more very quick example of when we make an application, how the steps like test scenario, test case, just
yeah. So let's assume the Facebook things. So in Facebook, planning happens, requirement business analysts are working, and you are working on this group, right? So what, like all of those people started together. It's not that they will hire until that phase is complete. They will hire immediately as soon as they get the project. So since you are working from March, let's say March 1, what are you going to do? You will be start reviewing the requirement documents given by the business analyst. Once you start reviewing, and you're going to think about what are the test scenarios, what are the scenarios that you're going to test, what are the things you need to test for the requirement. So once you decide what are the things you need to test, then you're going to write the details test case, line by line. Details. I'm going to show you some examples of the test case, how to write the test case. And then you have the test case, you're going to execute them, all those test cases. And then when you're going to execute, you're going to find some defect and so on, and then you're going to log defects, say problem. There's a problem. Then if you find a defect, what will happen is developer going to fix the defect, then you're going to test again.
I'm confused between test scenario and test case. What's the difference?
Test scenario is kind of things that you need to test. For example, like say you are buying a new house, and before you buy, you like to do some inspection. So inspector come in and he make a list of problem, like say problem 1 log, out of 2 log, 1 log is not working, water has some problems, and then roof what need to be fixed, some of the floor has broken or something. Let's say 5 problems. So he just write those things in one sentence. Now he also need to write some details too. Need to write in what exactly, what pictures, how you going to find that problem in order to identify that issue. So you're going to write more details in and all those problems that he found. So those are kind of test case. And then very high level things that he identified, he put those things in table of content. Yeah, very, like in other common sense, I would say table of content is test scenario and details are test case. But you're not going to give this definition, by the way. I'm just trying to make you understand.
Very high level.
High level. So I'm going to show you guys.
One more question.
Yeah. So any question on this? I have to talk about developing test plan. So develop test plan is something that let me do this. We talk about test scenarios here, right? Test scenarios that I explained to you. What are the items that you're going to test for the requirement? right? That was the definition I provided to you. But test plan is something is different than test scenario. People will ask you test plan. It is a very important question, by the way. Test plan, you must know what is test plan. If they ask you one single question, they will ask you for test plan. Test plan is something like, let me give you the real examples. So test plan is the guideline of the entire testing process. So how and what are the things and who are those people who will be testing, means how are you going to log a defect, means if you find a defect, what are the things you need to do, means entire things will be in a single document. It's kind of guideline of entire testing process from the beginning to the ending. First things, you need to analyze the requirement, you need to write a test case, what are the things you need to do when you write a test scenario, what are the template you're going to use for test case, means who are those persons who will be responsible for a specific requirement, how many requirements are going, and all those things. So I guess these guys already have something based on the test plan. We already talked about, I'm going to talk about later again. Test plan. Developing test plan, you're going to have introduction, you're going to have project overview, purpose, and then feature to be tested, feature not to be tested, configuration management, training, and all those things. I'm going to show you some sample test plan probably on your book as well, but I'm going to open a, yeah, I guess you can get it from next week. So test plan template. No, test plan is not a test strategy, it's a totally different thing. So let me download some documents from online. So these is the template documents written by some CDC. Test plan will be look like this. It will have table of content of everything with the version number, how many times you modified these documents. Draft 1, this is current version is 1.0 with the author name and so on. So we'll have table of content. With table of content, you will say what are the risks for this specific test release. What are the items to be tested, means how many requirements will be tested, and what is the test approach, means what is the testing life cycle is similar as test approach, and what is the test pattern fail criteria, means if test fails, what are the things you need to follow, if fail, what are the things need to be followed. Okay, and then what is the test exit and entry criteria, means when you enter, when you start testing, when you end testing. Understand? And then test deliverable, means after you finish testing, who are those persons you going to deliver those test results. Sometimes you going to deliver those test results within the team or outside the team, those are customers. Suspension and resumption criteria, environment, how many different environments you going to involve with, how many staff, what are those people will be involved. Is there any training needed for this specific release? Means all those different things will be added to your test plan. So these guys have, like again, this is the template. This has no data to it. So all you need to do, every project going to have this kind of template. You just fill out the form. Like for example, if this template is been and you need to start writing, you is going to start write your name, date, and blah blah. You're going to follow writing all this information and fill out the information. Like say item to be tested, you're going to write item number CR1002 and what is the CR name? Login functionality is changed and added a new button, cancel button, and is date something like this. All those information will be also given to you. You just fill out those information.
Who will give us that information?
That information will be in the meeting, during the meeting, like say on this document we said requirement, right? So once the requirement is completed, and I was talking about agile methodology. Oops. So in the sprint planning meeting, so the Scrum Master will decide how many requirements will be on this sprint. Let's say 10 requirements. All those 10 requirements, you're going to write those things or right here. Those information will be in the Excel or someone will communicate it through the email.
So this is test case?
No, this is test. This is requirement. Means number of requirement. Let's see, you have 4 requirements. CR means it's request, by the way. This is 1072, and this is called these plans. Test plan is part of the tester's responsibility. So yeah, they will write the requirement, but you just put those things in the table, make it organized, and when we'll be testing and who is the person who is going to test this requirement. Let's see, Anan will be testing this, and Nisa will be testing this, and this, blah blah blah. You will just fill out the form, something like this. Most of this information will be sent unless some of those, like as these guys explained, all those blue mark you need to modify. You need to modify all those texts. You need to modify, and what you need to write, even they said it. You just need to modify
according to
each modules. Yeah. So you're going to modify all these documents right here. It says item to be listed. So this is kind of different module. You can copy paste a lot of things. And after that, you will put your name number, and customer will put their name and number and sign off. So this test plan is approved.
So this one test plan.
Every release will have a different test plan.
It's online test they usually have.
Yeah. So every release is going to have a different test plan, and every release after beginning of the release you're going to have, or beginning of the sprint you're going to have one test plan, and ending of the sprint you're going to have test review result. TRR, that call. We're going to talk about all those abbreviations. Like test review results means, like say on this guy, sprint review. In here, you're going to talk about how many defects you have. Either can we go to the release with the defect, or we should pull out that thing. Something like that. So you're going to have test review meeting. Within that, you're going to talk about existing defect or no defect or successfully done, and then go to the production. You're going to decide what needs to be done. Either go to the production or go or not go meeting. Means either go or not go. Means last moment meeting could be go or could be. Understand?
This writing part is one of the main tasks.
Mostly test plan done by manager or team lead, not by you. But sometimes, you know, like because of a small amount of people, like a small company, they let you do everything. Because they have probably 2 people, or you are senior, another, since you will have like 70, 80 years of experience, they will pay you 85,000, so they will make you a senior, so you have to do this. Understand? But it's not too difficult at all. Are you going to get the template from the company? If they don't have, what happens is you can download all of them from online. The standard one is by IEEE test plan. IEEE test plan. So this is the standard document. IEEE is the engineering something. So you can download one of them in the Word version or PDF version and keep modifying based on your company, and you say this is the master test plan. You're not going to tell where you got this one. But if somebody asks you where you got it, yeah, this is the structured version used by IEEE. Everybody in this world, they follow IEEE. Get it? So again, this is all about experience. First time you do it, and you're done. You basically can do it rest of your life. is first time you are hearing from me, that's why you feel probably difficult. But once you do it, and how you going to do it? Once you go home, download one of them, try to modify it. If you don't understand some of the field, you ask us, and we will help you.
Modify it looking at what, like?
Looking at anything, just to see. Let's see, you are filling out some form, like doctor gave it to you, right? One of the form you don't know. What do you do? You go to the nurse or doctor, say, yeah, what I need to write here. Same thing, you're going to download and try to write whatever information you don't understand. You come to us, and I will help you. Or somebody, whoever teacher you will trust, they will help you. And people will ask you so many different questions. They will ask you, tell me, what do you mean by feature to be tested? Tell me, what do you mean by feature not to be tested, or something like this. So those questions will be asked. Feature to be tested means the item that you're going to test for this specific sprint. And feature not to be tested means you're not going to test it, or not testable by the test team. Not testable by the test team. Listen to me very carefully. Not testable by the test team means the item can be tested but not by the test team. Probably for different team. Probably system admin need to be tested because you don't have privilege to log into the machine directly to test that item. You may need to check some IP address or something inside the machine, but you don't have access to it. They don't give you the access because that's a secure environment, and you may need more higher level security clearance in order to log into those machines. So they don't give you access for each and every machine, definitely not. Let me see. And people will ask you, tell me, like, what are the module you're going to include on your test plan? You're going to say, yeah, I'm going to include overview, scopes, which are to be tested, which are not to be tested, then responsibilities and all those things. I mean, what type of testing will be done, exit criteria, entry criteria. Yeah, this guy, he put a lot of things here. So all those things need to be added. And what I would do, I would download a sample test plan, the IEEE, that's the standard one, everybody uses it, and based on that standard one, everybody modify based on their company need, IEEE standard test plan. So there's a test plan, you need to modify if they don't have anything.
Can you just give us an example of how to modify later in another class?
Yeah, that is on the book, but again, yeah, there will be another advanced SDLC classes will be taught, and we'll teach you also.
It's IEEE test plan template.
Yeah, IEEE test plan sample.
Many companies they use their test plan.
This is the IEEE is a standard organization. That is software is a larger professional association. IEEE is the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. So they make the rules like constitutions. So they are the rules maker. Like we have constitution here, right? So if there anything need to be amended, they always make those documents updated, and they put it in online onto their site to make everybody available to follow. So that's the way, like any company, let's say you're working for Microsoft, next couple of years you're going to work for IBM, so you don't need to adopt to the new technology. You can use the existing, every company can do that. Like for example, why we have menu bar called file, edit, favorite, this, blah, blah, because they follow those standards. So if you open another browser, you're going to see the exactly same thing. Even if you hold your control key, press F, this menu bar will come for each and every browser, each and every application. Why they make this standard? Because of IEEE. They're going to force each and every company to make some standard to make people's life easy. Because if every company like Apple, they have a different command. I don't know, basically I'm not an Apple fan. They have command, instead of control, they use command whatever key in order to do their work. But that is totally different operating system. But since most of the people they are using Windows, they have the same concept for each and every application. So that is given and that is provided by IT policy. So they are the organization that location is somewhere in United States, as they said. They're developing somewhere like this. American Institute of Engineering Corporation. Yeah, America do everything like United States, United Nations.
So it is followed worldwide.
Yeah, everywhere. So test case, we already explained about it, and also I show it you how to. But again, on the quality center class or ALM class, you will be actually writing how to write a test case. So in the test case, you're going to have those many columns. Like examples, I show it to you on that tool. You have test design steps. You have expected result, actual result column, all those different columns. So again, those are the standard columns. It's not necessary you have to follow them. Depends. Some people put couple of stuff, but standard one is like say you have test ID here. People will ask you what are the keyword you're going to write on your test case. It's basic common sense questions, and when you practice, you will know automatically. You'll need to write expected result, actual result, pass, fail, and all those things. So what happens is for in Excel, if you are using Excel other than using some ALM, so you'll write a test case something like the test name. Then and then you'll say requirement ID, requirement name, and date created by or designed by. And then step. Now you're going to have a design step. Step name. You're going to learn those things on the ALM class and later down the road, but I'm just showing you how the test case look like. Oh, by the way, it's here. I don't have to write it. It's right here. So you also going to have a template of this. You just fill out the form. If you are writing a test test case for test scenarios or login, you're going to put say test case identifier whatever blah blah. Then step number say 1, and then it is description. It is open the Internet Explorer and type www.google.com, and then it says google.com will open and something like this. So and this is the template you need to write the test case based on the test scenario that you need to develop. Is that Salman Bhai is coming?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we'll end our class another 20 minutes. Okay. Then test results, as I was explaining to you, when you execute your test case, either pass, fail, if you pass, means your test case, your test result is complete. If it fails, you're going to log a defect, right? So the window that I showed to you earlier, you're going to fill out the form to log the window, something like this. So you're going to just fill out the form and log the defect, and you let the developer, your team lead, team manager, teammates know these are the defect number. I just logged in. So let me know if you have any question or something like this. So as soon as you type this information, you click on submit, those information will be automatically saved.
And you can retrieve it all.
Yeah, like earlier I showed you, just click on it, the number, it will open automatically in this window. Again, you're going to practice these tools at least a week, in a single weekend. So defect life cycle. Now, what happens if you log a defect? So what you usually do, like in regular, let's see, if you have a problem in your car, you go to the like mechanics. You say, okay, I have problem on my car. This is the problem, right? And then what they will do, okay, let me see what is the problem. They found it, and then they fix it, right? And then you will say, okay, let me see if that fixed before I pay. So you're going to look at it. If it fixed, then you pay. If you don't fix, you're going to tell no, it's still the same thing, right? So they will fix it again. They will come back to you. Okay, you look at it. It's good. Then you will pay them and come home, right? So defect actually is exactly regular common sense. But in here, people still will ask you. They have nothing to ask in the interview questions, right? So they have to ask you. So once you submit, this is a standard procedure. If you submit, then that you will open as a new. But by the way, this standard procedure will be given to you from the company. Will tell you what you need to follow and how you need to follow. So if you open a defect, you will log in as a new, and then somebody will review. Who's going to review that defect? Either there's the actual defect or not defect. So team lead will review that defect, either that defect is really valid. And then if he's saying, yeah, that's valid, and he will make that status new to open. And then developer will see that defect and they will fix it. They will fix it, and then it will come back to the tester.
Okay.
Tester will test it, and again, if it pass, they will say okay, pass. If it's not pass, they will make reopen. And developer, like the lead, will test it again to see either that's why he reopened. Let me see, and he will reopen again to let the developer know. Developer will fix it again and come back and forth. It's very generic, but you know that's why people pay $5,000.
It's not your fault if it's not a valid defect.
Yeah.
You just suggested and he doesn't agree.
Yeah, he's not agree. But if he's not agree, but you really agree, you have reason to tell. Like, yeah, these are the things. I think this is defect, but if still you think it's not defect, that's up to you. But you have to show them valid reason why that is a defect. You have to show the valid means based on the requirement. Of course, you have to stick with the requirement. If requirement says, okay, that button has to be in the right hand side, not in the left justification, you need to tell, yeah, because requirement says right justification, and this has to be defect. But still, if you think, okay, can you change the requirement, please? Then you will write the defect against the requirement. You will open another requirement, defect. Because that's a requirement issue, right? So one of them has to be followed, either requirement or developer. Either developer is right or requirement is right. You only compare apple to apple. If this apple and this apple is not same, that's a defect. Simple. You say this is a very good one. This one and this one is not exactly same. Not a single color or dot is missing. That's a defect.
Okay.
Very simple. And again, this is just an explanation in word, and this is an explanation in picture. There are other documents you may need to familiar with. The design documents that we earlier talked about it. Design document is more elaborative, more descriptive level of requirement documents. Use case is something very, very high level than requirement document. So use case comes before requirement document. So what is use case? Let me show you a couple of pictures. So this is a sample of use case. Assume this picture is look like human, right? And these are action. These are action. All those round things are called action. And all these texts are command. So user receiving order from ordering food. So if you have application like restaurant business, so entire restaurant business, how the works, this is a picture of it. What is the flow of the business? This is the picture. This is kind of blueprint of entire business. So this is a use case. the shortcut, long story, very short. The definition for use case is user interact with action or user interact with system. That is called use case. I don't want to just tell you the definition. I just wanted to show you the picture and define the definition so you remember forever. That's the way I remember, whether I don't memorize a single definition. I don't teach it, probably after a couple of years after I'm teaching this course. I never teach SDLC. I hardly teach SDLC. It's not my time. But I still remember all the definitions. So what is the use of it? What do you do with this thing? You know, let's see, you get hired to the company and you don't know about the application, right? You need to learn the application in order to start working. But if somebody give you these documents, you will know what is this application is about, how this application is working. If you need to find out what is the drink wine module and how you're going to come to this place, first you need to click on eat food and then drink wine. This option will come once you click here. This option will not come until you click here, right? So this is a very small one. Let me see if I get some complex. This guy has something. So again, user, all those humans are user are interacting with your system is called use case. And people may ask you, well, you don't have any design document, you don't have any requirement. How do you write your test case? You can write your test case from use case. You know, use your imagination prototype. Just think, okay, how that picture will look like, how the like say Niagara Falls will look like, and based on imagination, you need to write test case because the application is not developed yet. That is called prototype, the blueprint of your. You just use your thinking to build the test case. Of course, you need to open the Internet Explorer. You need to log in. You need to type username, password. All of the applications are the same thing, right? And then you will say, if you are working with hotel application, you'll say, okay, click on reservation button and enter from city to city, enter the location, and then type date, then click on the search button, then select the desired hotel. It means all your imagination. That is a writing test case from the prototype. Means application is not developed yet. Sometimes they may have no documents. So that case you need to write a document from the prototype. Means you have an idea of it. You just talk to the team and they gave you that idea. And based on that idea, you need to write test case and test scenarios and test plans and everything. But if they have the use case, at least you have more information. Understand?
Sometimes they won't even have the use case.
No, nothing. Nothing. It's very, very initial phase of the application. So that's what I was talking about, prototype, like blueprint of the things. Functional requirement documents. So this is the requirements you basically work with. This, there are more different type of requirement documents like business requirement documents, software specification document or something. So business, the difference between all those different type of requirement documents are like say some of them are high level, some of them are very detail oriented, some of them are very specific to the function. So this is very specific to the function that most of the time tests are working with. Software specification document is kind of the user guide. You buy a TV with all the user guide, right? That's a TV specification document. That's a complete user guide. You don't need complete user guide to test your application. If you testing your application with complete user guide, you will be taking like say a year to test it because so many things you need to cover. But you need a specific item to be tested. That's a functional requirement document. Business requirement documents is another requirement type of document. There is a high level of functional requirement document is delivered from the customer.
Business is more high level.
Yeah, but this is the one you basically work with. They call FRD. I'm very bad on those things, but like you don't have to memorize any of them. If somebody asks you, tell me what about FRD, you just tell them, yeah, I'm very bad about the abbreviation. Tell me the document name, I will explain to you what it is. You have to be stick with it. You have to be show your attitude to talk to them. It's not that okay. Oh no, I don't know. Oh, I forgot. Oh, let me think. Oh, you cannot use those imagination or something. You have to be very actively talking to them. Understand? Again, we'll learn about those things later down the road as well. I guess that's all we wanted to do on today, and we're going to cover many more topics later. Any questions? You guys understand a little bit on today, at least how the software works. It's a lot of information, by the way. And again, as I said, most of the jobs related to software development lifecycle, even because non-technical people need to understand what is software, how the software works. If non-technical people does not understand like how the software development, they will never be part of IT. And most of the jobs related to this. So you guys have to spend a lot of time on it, and I will post a lot of resources in the Facebook discussion group. I already have, but we'll put more information to it. And of course, the most best way to communicate, yeah, you can ping me in Facebook, or you can text me, or I can help you, or some other teachers. Like our primary teacher is Mohammed Shumon. He basically responsible for SDLC, but he's teaching in New York, so that's why I'm teaching him today. So yeah, send the request in Facebook discussion where I will add you to this group, and you can have all those information related to class and links and everything. Yeah, so you can take the classes in from home or coming to right here. So if we are taking classes live here, this recommendation is to come here, that we will have more interaction. But if you are teaching live from New York, then you can stay home and take the classes, but make sure you really understand. Make sure you stay next to the computer. Don't do cooking while you are taking the classes.
So that will live sessions you can access.
Live, yeah, this you can if you are take the classes from home, you simply click on this link and take the classes from home.
Oh, simply click on that link.
Yeah.
In order if you want to live or yeah, and
well, how to review? I'm recording. You see 3 hours and 38 seconds.
Yeah,
I will